let's watch Deliverance with Monique. The Deliverance. I need forgiveness for my sins, but I also need deliverance from the power of sin. I need forgiveness for what I have done, but also need deliverance from what I am. So we open with this little boy, and he's drawn this beautiful mural. In his bedroom, you could tell they just moved in. His mom sanding the floors. He calls his mom to come look. Oh, they did it together. Oh, God, and we have a black Glenn Close. Or Glenn Close playing a white woman with a black woman's spirit. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, my God. This is everything. Oh, my God. She reminds me of a girl I went to high school with, Kristen. Oh, we were thick as thieves. Kristen wasn't having none of it. But we're at the church now and getting a good sermon on. So we get home from church, and this is obviously Audra Day's mother, Glenn Close. And she asked, why couldn't I take the boy to church? And she said, because he don't want to go. She bite the catfish. She like, too much garlic, hon. So Audra's character is Ebony, and we find out Glenn's living with them. And she said, look, I let you live here, but you can't run your mouth. Oh, she told her mama to shut the F up. So the youngest son asked for more milk, and she said, and the mom says, no, you're lactose intolerant. And he says, you just being cheap. The doctor never said that. She slapped the spoon out his hand. So she popped him in the mouth a little too good, and he bleeding. Then when she leaned over to put some napkin on his mouth, Glenn can smell she been drinking. So Glenn goes to work at her nursing job, and she got 2 other kids too, but they was pretty quiet during the meal. We could tell this is a tenuous familial situation. We also waiting for Dad to come home. Dad's texting the daughter. He's like, I'll be there soon. When the hell is soon? Get here now. The dad asking the daughter if the mama drinking again because she's like, Mama a little nutty. So they live in Pittsburgh and are behind on the bills. However, there's something stanking in the house and everybody's starting to smell it. So we can tell the stench is coming from the basement, but we don't know if she knows what it is. So in the middle of the night, the youngest wakes up, hears a couple arguing outside, and goes to get some milk. And child, he just drinking it, letting it spill. Then he walks outside. So the next day we see Ivory on the phone with the landlord. Apparently she got some type of advance and something's missing. She used the money to fix the house up. Oh, they trying to repossess her car. However, as she's cleaning, putting things away on this phone call, she sees a liquor bottle. So she walks outside and asks her mama, what is this? As the kids are getting in from school. So the kids are just getting home from school and they was getting bullied on their way home. Some kid threw a rock at the oldest boy's head. But Ebony walks out, not Ivory, Ebony. Ebony walks out and asks her oldest son what the bottle was doing in the closet. And he said, I was hiding it from you. I ain't drinking. So now she going down to whoop them corner boy ass. She whooped that ass real quick. She get back and fight with her mom. And she said, why you sniffing up in front of my kids like that? I've knocked bitches' teeth out for less. She said, then do it. She don't believe her mama been saved. She like, look, you might fool them, but I remember your ass. Oh, Lord. Now we see in the backyard the kid talking to himself, the youngest. And we see there's flies around again. So now we got the whole family watching Valley of the Dolls together, reciting it line for line, doing each other's hair. But then the tender family moment gets broken when Mama asks the daughter, you want to hold off on your birthday till your daddy show up? And she like, oh, we broke. Okay. We can't do nothing. I can't get my new phone. So she stomp upstairs. However, that night, the youngest go down to the basement with the flies and the stench. The mama hears somebody walking around and she goes downstairs to check it out. So she walk around, don't see nobody in the house. Then she sees the basement door open and closes it, not knowing the youngest down there, and locked the door. Lord, the way Glenn Close just took off that wig, that's how you know it's Tyler Perry. Is this Tyler Perry? No, it's Sissy Daniels. Either way, it's in a girdle. Oh, we see Glenn Close is getting chemo. Not her trying to show her brother Omar Epps while she getting treatment. Child, the other girls in chemo gossiping about her. Girl, she get her date with him and said, bump them hating efforts. She said, excuse me, do you need something? Oh, and we find out that the daughter been secretly paying for her mama's treatments at this specific clinic because she liked it there. Uh-oh, look like Andra coming. Uh-oh, look like Ebony coming home drunk and barefoot. So Alberta sees that she's drunk and she's like, look, I ain't drive home. And she's like, well, I want to kind of thank you for paying for my cancer treatments. She's like, you ain't got to say anything. I'm going to bed. So she's asleep, and then she's dreaming about, what's his name? Lakeith Stanfield. I guess maybe that's the ex-husband or the guy she killed in the basement, because I think somebody dead down there. But she wake up and her door is slammed, so now she get up to go look, see what's going on. She got her bath. Now this time the basement door is open and the light's on. However, her oldest wakes up and is like, hey, where's my money? Dad's been sending me money, and you didn't take it. Where the fuck's my money? And then she slapped him, who the fuck you think you talking to? So then before they can really get to tussling, the youngest runs and it's like, don't hurt him. And then he ends up having a TV fall on him and damn near break his arm. So later that night, she give him the money back, but ask him not to leave. So the next day, we see the oldest going down to the basement and don't look like nothing in there. However, outside, the mama asking her daughter what the dad said. Oh, it was an exterminator that went down there. It was a dead rat. Okay, and now Monique show up in a Mercedes SUV, giving Rich on tea. Uh-oh, and she looking for Ebony. She like, I got you now. What excuse you gonna have? Cynthia, Ebony, can we talk? Sure, come on inside. So they go in the living room and Glenn Close just look at her and leave. So you could tell they got energy. The kids sit in the living room too. Is she some type of caseworker? Yeah, she the caseworker. Why didn't you tell us about the move? So she notices them kids is banged up, but they lying for their mama. So she sent them out. So as she leaves, we see this other heifer in a green older Mercedes parked across the street, just looking out, looking a little teary. Wait a minute, is this Miss Lawrence? Oh my God, Miss Lawrence. I still can't wait for that movie of those girls. Well, now we at Shantae's birthday party. Lord, Omar Epps serenading the grandmom at the party. However, in the middle of the party, there's some banging on the basement door, and we see the youngest has his eyes closed and is banging on his head on the door when the mama opened it. She like, wake up, what's going on? He said, I was talking with Trey. Who Trey? Trey lives in the hole downstairs. Ms. Lawrence said, what's wrong with your child? Oh, Lord, but it's after the party, and now she drinking the Little Kim dreams. But the party's wound down. She begging Miss Lawrence to stay. He like, look, we got to work in the morning. You need to get your drunk ass to bed. So he leaves. She see her son staring at the wall again, so she sent him to bed. Oh, but now we hear something busting through the basement. So Alberta is saying goodbye to Omar Epps, and she hears some commotion upstairs. She gets in there. We got Ebony on one side of the room, the three kids on the other. She's trying to find out what happened, and the youngest said she threw us against the wall, and she says, no, I didn't. So she go to bed. The grandma takes the kids to school the next day. And we see this heifer is following them that was in the green car earlier. Back at the house, Ebony said, I'm going to take this hair out. What the hell? So the kid's going crazy at school. The oldest is laughing at the teacher when she talked about her brother dying from AIDS. The youngest is pissing in front of the class. And the girl that got her first period. So she got to go to the bathroom. Oh my God, he's shitting through it at the teacher. What? Oh my God. Sissy Daniels. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying Sissy versus Ty Ty. Oh God, Ty Ty is terrible. This is actually good. I've been enjoying this. The teacher got hit in the face. She's Sissy. I cannot. So all the kids in the hospital. Oh, now this is interesting. They showing the youngest some pictures and have him associate words with it. And he sees a crow and says Trey. So they said the psychological exams are fine, but now the lady but the doctor wants to know about the bruises. And the son did that to himself, but I don't know if they're going to believe her. So that night, Ebony and Glenn get in a fight over Glenn putting a crucifix on the wall. Oh God, now the oldest is trying to drown the youngest in the bathtub. So the mama finally get him off of each other. The mama finally get him off of him. Grandma run upstairs, everybody crying. Oh God. The next morning, Monique showing up, knocking on damn doors, rapping on window panes. Now Monique says, I talked to the doctor at the hospital and she said the kids are doing this because they think that's what she wants them to do. So Monique like, I need to see the kids. I need to see the kids. Glenn Close come down with the bat. And so she gets Monique going on. And then she sees that heifer in the green car was taking pictures. And she hit her car with the bat too. Get back to social services. Okay, now Glenn Close done gone to Tasha Smith, the preacher at her church, and she's like, I've never heard of no nonsense like this. However, we see Ebony at the bar. She come out and see the heifer that was taking pictures, and she's like, I ain't beat my kids at the bar. And she said, your kids are sick. There's an evil spirit in your house. I haven't had a decent wing in a while. Maybe I'll do pizza and wings tonight. I'm getting hungry. Oh, and I'm going, I might try Village Pizza. Because I want to go get some more edibles anyway. So this heifer's an evangelist going where God sends her, an apostle. And your house is haunted. So 20 years ago, the house had a haunting. So here's a picture of the family that used to live there. 20 years ago, I had to do a deliverance on their son. Not an exorcism, a deliverance. However, this demon was so powerful, it was laughing at me, and I lost the child. And the mama of the boy is Ebony from Players Club. Why, Ebony? Why? I ain't seen Eb in a minute. So she went crazy. The mother of the original family of the house went crazy and killed everybody because of the demon. Meanwhile, at the house, Glenn Close is wrestling with the ghost. Trey. Trey is the little boy that died that your youngest has been yapping with. Better get out. So Ebony like, yeah, girl, whatever. But she makes her take her number. She's like, you're going to need me. I don't know. It seems like you can't really fight this thing. How you going to do better round two? However, when she gets home, the fire alarm is off and the house is filling with smoke. Oh, Lord, the crucifix is burning. Oh, God, Glenn Close dead. So the littlest one comes down and asks what's wrong with Grandma. And he's like, and she says, you tell me. But then the daughter screams, so she runs up to check on her. And now the young one's standing over the dead grandma. He wouldn't take the kid away from the dead body. So now the house is a crime scene. And the next day, Monique show up and take a picture of the burnt crucifix. Now they just driving around. Ebony's like, I don't know about our suitcases. Don't ask me nothing. I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, God. The daughter done called Cynthia. So then in the car, we see the little boy say, it's your fault your mother's dead. And then his eyes go black. She freaks out, almost gets into a wreck. So I guess we're going to call that heifer. So she pulls into a restaurant and is crying, asks for help. But now the kids done ran out the car. Lord, so she ended up in the mental institution. So after her interview, now Cynthia show up. So now the kids are going to a church foster care. So now she goes to see the soothsayer. Meanwhile, the eldest is really possessed in the hospital. They got to put him in a straitjacket. So they get to praying. I don't trust this heifer. Over in the hospital, this boy breaks free from his restraints and starts flying around the room. So, child, after this prayer, they break his ass out the hospital. She dressed up like a nurse, gives him a hi, how you doing, throw his ass in a wheelchair, and they bark. So then we start praying and crying because we got to go in this with pure faith. That's what messed her up the last time. So she says, look, this demon will take the form of the thing you love. Be careful, it's going to lie to you. And she starts throwing holy water on the boy. They done chained him up so he can't get loose. And we start the deliverance. And she gets throwing that water and he starts sizzling and squirming. And then it turned into a Glenn Close monster. And she says the epic line, I smell your nappy pussy, bitch. Oh my, I heard a good pussy. I heard a bad pussy. I ain't never heard a nappy pussy. We don't say nappy, we say 4C. Oh, God. Now, that was funny. Everybody got a Brazilian wax these days, girl. But she fighting the demon. She thinks she winning. But then the demon get the upper hand and start throwing her around the room. And she dying and she tell Ebony, look, here's the holy water. You got to do it with pure faith. I failed. So then Ebony tried to get her, but Ebony getting her ass beat. And then we hear Glenn Close again, but her actual mama, not the monster Glenn Close, say, I know you don't want to talk to me, but you can always talk to him. And she sees a flash of light, and then she comes back and she's standing up against it, and she throwing that holy water, saying that prayer. This time the monster's like, no. She like, take your ass on. She felt the spirit. She said, amen and hallelujah. 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 And she get her son back, and that was the shit. It was cute. It was cute. It was good high-end horror. The acting was good. The writing was good. Other than that, and it's so funny how Glenn Close looks like Freddy Krueger. I can't unsee it now. But yeah, that was one hell of a movie. One hell of a ride. Who wants to shimmy on? Oh my God. And I'm not going to be able to stop hearing that in my head for a minute. It was so good. It was so enjoyable. But who would like to shimmy on in and join me for a Halloween movie open forum? Because since we're entering spooky season, because I feel like Halloween is 2 months. Halloween is 2 months. Thanksgiving is like a month. And then it's Thanksgiving Mas. And like we've as a culture, like, because I swear, like, if they could, they'd have us celebrating Christmas right now. You know, they would if they could. So as a culture, I feel that it was good that we fought back for Christmas to only be after Thanksgiving. But I feel like Halloween gets a full 2 months, and I'm not mad at it.
I feel like everybody's so ready to climb into fall by the end of summer.
You know, because summer it's fun, but summer is exhausting and expensive. Like, summer is great when you're a kid and everybody else is footing your bills. As an adult,
go ahead.
As an adult, summer is fun, but it's also like you're planning for vacations, you're getting out of your comfort zone, you're doing new things, you're hanging out with friends, and it's fun, but it's also like, ooh, I could use a little bit of routine after a couple months of this.
And if you have kids and once they go back to school, it's no longer summer vibes, it's back to school vibes. And if you live on the West Coast, you know that means hot. Like, fall is hot here in Southern California. We don't have fall. It's hot. But
I will say that
yeah.
Like, that's something East Coasters don't really get. Like, this really is our summer. Like, California summer, especially like the further north you go, is September, October. Those are the 2 warm months here. We have something called June gloom, where it'll just be foggy in June and July. Like, every July, like, the fog ruins the fireworks. But
yeah, but I'm ready to feel the fall vibes. You know, now that we're nearly because September, you know, you could put Halloween vibes in it.
It's definitely also, there's like, I feel like there's honestly more scary movies and more like in that like back to school fall genre than there even are Christmas movies. And there's a whole freaking Hallmark channel for Christmas movies.
Gosh, I don't know. Stack up Halloween versus Christmas. That would be a hell of a list to compile. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to really take a look at that. Because the two are certainly definitely competitors.
Here is why Halloween will always win. You ready?
I'm ready.
Because of the adjacents. There are more movies that are in the scary vibe that aren't with Halloween but can be played during spooky season. For example, The Craft, not a technically themed Halloween movie like Hocus Pocus, but still in the spooky season vibes.
100, because that is me, the awkward white girl vibe where we can't take horror, but the witchy stuff, totally into it. I was going to suggest Practical Magic and watch you laugh. You know what I mean? Like, totally. A long-haired white woman thinking she can run an apothecary, you know, doing zombies and stuff, right? That's my kind of seasonal movie. They are doing a Practical Magic too. But I agree with you. Like, the adjacence is an excellent point.
So yeah, exactly. Practical Magic is another one. And I would say like Practical Magic is that I'm going to shock you. I have not seen Practical Magic.
Well, that's okay. It's a little niche, you know. But if I said that I had not seen it, that would shock you.
Oh, the new Beetlejuice is coming. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the theater to see it. I feel like it's just hitting the theaters now. It'll be streaming by Halloween.
Yes, I heard you and Chris talking about it earlier. I am a huge original Beetlejuice fan. I have hopes for this one, but I don't know if I have $25 needs to see it in the theater, especially because I'm a fellow Capricorn like you, and describing a mini fridge by the couch and like a whole little setup, I was like, that's exactly the kind of vibe to which I would thoroughly enjoy a decent Beetlejuice. And I do love that movie dearly. That's another adjacent.
Yes. Also, I saw something that will change, I think, all of our lives.
Oh.
A couch with refrigerated drawers.
Oh, yes, that's brilliant.
And it's like, these things aren't super expensive now. So it's not like this is like some $5,000. No, this is customizable. This is affordable.
Listen, the pandemic changed us forever. And the way
and then also, like, things have happened at movie theaters with pews that we're not going to say to get the page shut down.
Right.
But that also, it's like, I don't feel safe.
I don't want to spend $60 at the movies. I don't want to spend $100. I don't want $25 for because my daughter and I, when I want to have a little date night with my kid, right? Like, you would think when you go and get 2 tickets and you get a popcorn to share and you each get a drink, and then, you know, I'm not as much of a fan of popcorn as I am of candy. So and some candy, and you're like, I spent $100. You know what I mean? Like $75 on a movie.
My friend, he loves to go to the movies, my friend Brian, and like he'll just like buy tickets and just call his friends and be like, hey, whoever wants to go, you know, I got tickets.
Yes.
And like that's his thing, and it's fine. But like, he will pop for like a $25 movie ticket, $14 popcorn. I remember we tried the $14 popcorn. Now, I will say this is the Alamo movie theater. So it's like a high-end movie theater. It's got the reclining seats. And their snacks are good, but they bring you everything. So it's like, at least for like the price, you're getting a bit of service. Like,
you're paying for a concierge experience.
Exactly. And it's like, if you're going to charge that much, like, why am I getting up?
Yeah.
Like, let me write my little order and bring me and the pizzas were, and also the food was at least good. Like, their pizzas were good. Like, I was like, okay, for these prices, I'm not, like, I know it's high, but it's like, all right, this isn't that terrible. But $14 popcorn.
Listen.
$14 popcorn.
Yeah. The last time we were in the theater, I took my daughter to see Garfield, and like, it was just her and I in the theater. It was a surprise. And then about 20 minutes in, a couple walked in, which was like, why would this couple be coming to see Garfield? But whatever, you know. And then the next thing I know, in my peripheral vision, I see a foot in the air and the man massaging this bare foot while they're watching Garfield. I was like, what in the awkward situation is even happening for $25 a ticket? Why am I looking at a foot in the air? It was like, you know what I mean? It was like at his in Garfield, a terrible movie anyway. So yeah, that does make you think twice about going to the theater for the price, at least.
Oh my God, you know what? Fun fact. I went to see Garfield. Like, this was probably before she was born. But when they did the first Garfield movie, like,
yes,
I was still in the Army, so it was sometime between 2000 to 2004. But I grew up watching the cartoon, so I loved it.
So I know.
So I went to go see it. Like, if they did a Calvin and Hobbes movie, You bet your ass. I'm gonna
Yes.
be there.
Nostalgia. Yes, people. Calvin and Hobbes, Garfield. Who read the comics?
Yeah,
Who
like I
did?
had the treasuries. So I
Yes.
was so disappointed in that movie and Identity that I remember seeing those two like back to back, and then I stopped watching movies because I was so disappointed in both of them. I stopped fucking with the medium. With the medium, I was like, you ain't getting me for another 2 hours. I'll watch television, and that's it. And that's part of why you have me today. Because I said TV and TV only. Because if it's going bad, I know in the first 15 minutes, you ain't getting 2 hours out of me again. I'm telling you. Now, Identity is another spooky season movie because it is scary, but it's a psychological thriller. The problem is they marketed it as a slasher movie. So I went ready for the murder. I'm like, this is what I want to see. Mm-hmm. And then it was a psychological thriller, and you find out, I'm about to spoil the movie for you, all the characters that were getting quote unquote killed off or disappearing were in this guy's head.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, honey, when I found out, I was hotter than fish grease. I wanted my 2 hours back. I didn't want my money back. I wanted my 2 hours back. I wanted my time back. I was like, I'm never getting that time back. I'm never getting that back. And that really, like, I approach movies with caution. Well, I'm like, I don't really know about you, movie. I don't trust you. There's a level where I'm like, yeah, I'll watch you if I can get something out of it, but don't get comfortable, bitch.
Yeah, no, I definitely have some movie theater regrets of what I wasted my time sitting through, taking Gemma. But you know, quality time with your kid, and as long as she was cool with it. But even Gemma hated this new Garfield movie. She looked at me. No, there was probably about 30 minutes left, and the foot came up, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. You rubbing this lady's foot in this theater with me and my child. And then she looked at me, and she didn't see the foot, but she was like, I don't like this movie. Can we go? And I'm like, yes, because the whole thing. And I thought to myself, this was a waste. So yeah, I'm definitely with you where you're like, I need to be able to jump ship without feeling like, I mean, yes, I realize I could have gone and demanded my money and said there's foot rubbing going on and all of those things, but I didn't feel like being a Karen. I just want to go home.
Exactly. Am I single? I'm very attractive. Oh, thank you, Mike. That's very sweet. Yes, I am single because I don't know where the good men have gone. Maybe they're all married or I just haven't met them yet. But
oh my God, do you remember that song, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone?
Yes, where have all the cowboys gone? I haven't. I'm looking, honey. I ain't found none yet, though.
Scream is another one that's adjacent to the holiday. I know we're like...
Exactly. It is. And it's funny because actually it seemed like it was a middle of the school year movie rather than a back to school movie.
Yeah, I just remember, like, I do not do well with slash, gore, real disturbing shit, all whatever. But I do have, like, my pocketed things that I have an affection for. So I can participate in this conversation, but I have to, like, admit that I'm like, ooh, there's some stuff I'm not so good with, or I prefer not to. But you know what's a weird hybrid that is, like, one of my fondest favorites? Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh my God. Now you see, now that is,
yeah,
I love that movie. I went to see it in the theater as a kid. Like
I love it so much.
We like that movie was for us. Like that was marketed to us, Tim Burton at his finest. And again, Tim Burton, definitely like,
Halloween adjacent.
Yeah, Halloween adjacent.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, and I live in Long Beach, which is right by Disneyland, right? And because we're local, we have an annual pass, and how in Disneyland, Halloween at Disneyland is just as magical as Christmas. It's just as magical. And they take the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland and they turn it into Jack Skellington's home. And it's so cool. They have Jack and Sally and it's so magical. So if you're into that, you're like, oh, this is so great.
I also feel like as the years have gone by, it serves as like an allegory for how commercialized the holidays have become, for the true fight between the two holidays now. Who gets more airtime, Halloween and Christmas? It's interesting now. I look at it and it's like, wow, this seems like it's about marketing.
Oh yeah, well that movie is so clever. It has so many layers to it. It's really enjoyable. It was very satirical comment on the commercialization of all holidays, because you even have like Thanksgiving. You have all kinds of clever little nods. But I just think it's so artistically beautiful too, like the claymation and everything. It's amazing, right?
It is. It is a time capsule. It is perfect. Didn't they do a sequel?
Did they? I don't think so.
I think they did a sequel. Or maybe it was The Corpse Bride, which was like something similar.
Yeah, there's The Corpse Bride and Coraline. So he had kind of some similar like macabre clay stuff that he did, but not like not a sequel.
Now this is another delightfully Halloween adjacent. And also I feel like there are enough movies in spooky season that are like either classics like Scream, which like you can watch Scream.
Yes.
I feel like there are enough movies, or like what I'm about to suggest, where it's like you don't have to do like real gore or like movies like Saw to have a spooky season.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna love these two.
Yes.
Addams Family Values.
The
Not
best.
Halloween, but Halloween.
Oh yes, I love my heart. One of the few franchises that the sequel was excellent, right? Remember, like when the kids had to go to summer camp and like like all of that. That was
Christine Baranski as the counselor.
Yes, that was really funny.
And the incomparable Joan Cusack.
Incomparable. I did watch the first season of Wednesday. It's pretty good. I think that I love that they're having fun with the franchise going further. Crap, I'm blanking on the girl's name that is like the replacement for Christina Ricci.
I know who you're talking about.
The edibles are
the one that looks like Aubrey Plaza.
Yes. I think she's an excellent person to carry on the torch. But there's something that I adore about Angelica Houston and Raul Julia together as Morticia and Gomez. I just love that so much. God, Mia.
Oh, like,
they were the best.
She didn't come back, did she?
Who?
Angelica Houston didn't come back because she
to the TV show.
Yeah, to Wednesday.
No, they got Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Okay, all right.
And the ugliest motherfucker. I don't remember the actor's name, but they're doing like the worst interpretation of Gomez. He's basically a troll. He's a little troll. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Sorry to that man.
Gomez was. I love Raul Julia's portrayal.
My favorite. Like, I loved it. All the S&M jokes they had together, like about their romance and stuff in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. She was great. No, they were. It was very good. Classic.
Now, would you say? Now, let's talk DVD discount bin to polished treasure, because some movies, they, when they came out, nobody really cared, and now it's like, oh yeah, we care about that,
right?
I feel
Cult
like
classics.
Final Destination.
I think. Well, don't they make like 17 of them?
Yes.
Like, aren't there like? So I didn't watch them, but I stand by that as like it's like Fast and the Furious. It's held up as an institution of movies, right?
Hmm.
I mean, you know.
I feel like I haven't heard of people not enjoying them. I haven't seen all of them, but I
Yeah.
definitely feel like the first, I will even give the first two cult classic status.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what, even the first three, I feel like that was a perfect trilogy of that time. They stuck with the script. They kept the deaths interesting. They kept us on the edge of our seats, wondering what was going to happen next. They spent good money on special effects.
Yeah.
I would say I would give all three of them like, wow, y'all kept that going, and then they left it alone for a while, and then I think we're up to like 7 or 8 now.
Yeah. You know, I have to make an abrupt turn just to reiterate what you said about The Crow, because The Crow was our Leah Brandon Lee, like all of it. Like, and I was furious to see this remake. I'm all, y'all are stupid. You did it. Like, you just, that movie is our genre magic. I absolutely, like, you know what I mean?
Yes, that,
Cult classic. Don't touch it if you, unless you're going to do it right.
and I don't think you can't like.
No,
I feel like maybe if you wanted to, like, because The Crow was a comic book.
it
So if
was.
you want to go to the source material and do something within the Crow universe, pay homage to Brandon, then maybe you could have gotten like the, older millennial, young Gen Xer in there. But
Yes.
I feel also like it's not the source material, like people aren't really reading those type of comics like that right now. And I just feel like it just something about the way they marketed it felt cheap.
It looks like John Wick. Um, but what I'll say is the comic was actually written by someone who lost his girlfriend to a drunk driver. I didn't even know that. And so then we have the lore of Brandon Lee tragically dying on the set, on top of the fact that his father tragically died right after making a movie. Like, you literally have all of these things wrapped around this cult classic movie that's very stylized and has like, just a lot of elements to it. And like you said, like a really tragic ending for somebody who this movie clearly was their jump off. This was going to be him just being propelled because he was so charismatic. And now you got Pennywise trying to be the Crow. Get out of here. And like I said, it's a very John Wick feel. So I just don't really understand why they disrespected something like that by remaking it like this. So yeah.
Quick buck syndrome.
Well, it's like somebody asked the question, Double Toasted, it's another YouTuber, would this movie be revered the way that it was if he hadn't died? Well, we don't know. And he did. So just leave it at that. That's the way I feel about it.
That's true. Let's see. What other movies would be Halloween adjacent, but not technically Halloween? The Witches of Eastwick.
Yes. Another very good classic movie. A lot of people, that's their favorite Cher movie.
The Witches of Eastwick. Then there's also The Witches with Angelica Houston.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's right. And then they remade it with Anne Hathaway. I haven't seen that one, but I might watch it because Olivia's in that.
Oh.
I just remembered. Let's see. What is your favorite like Halloween movie? Anna, do you have a favorite animated one?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nightmare Before Christmas really is my favorite. Like I said, like I know it's a weird hybrid, but that is like my holiday, one of my holiday favorites. But one that is to me like ingrained in childhood nostalgia because it was on every year is The Headless Horseman.
The cartoon?
Yes.
Okay, I remember that from Disney. Oh, yes.
Don't you?
ABC Disney, yes.
Yes.
Every year on
Yes.
Sunday night. And you would never really know when it would be like an ABC Disney Sunday night, because sometimes it would just be 2020. But then like you hear that special music like
Yes.
after like at like 8 o'clock, and it's like, oh, it's a Disney night.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Remember when like we actually had to tune in? We had to, you know, look at the TV guide or like figure out when this time of year they were airing the holiday specials. So
Yeah.
if you asked me, you said animated, and immediately that flaming pumpkin that comes flying through the covered bridge, that like popped into my head. And Ichabod Crane with his like crazy looking ears.
Oh, now that's funny because my favorite non-animated, I would say Halloween movie, or definitely like in my top 5, Sleepy Hollow with Dana Ricci and Johnny. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. And Miranda Richardson. Oh, everybody acted their face off. It was just another Tim Burton. So well fucking done. Danny Elfman doing the score. I mean that the music, I mean all of it. Like I could eat that movie like pie.
Yeah, the ASMR in that movie with that nasty tree.
Oh, the tree, like like that whole movie, like you could feel it really transports you into that world.
I think, you know, it's interesting because Tim Burton kind of went into a weird period where like he redid Alice in Wonderland and some stuff like that, and you're like kind of like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, but I do think that that movie is a great example of like the style that he should have kind of stopped there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it works. It works.
That's the note, you know.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. So
now, my favorite animated movie though,
yes,
is not everybody has seen it. But once I found it, I fell in love with it. And so every year, I always have to watch it. And it's been a little hard to find, but it's been easier as the years have gone on. The Halloween Tree.
I've never heard of it, and I was confident that I was going to have.
It's one of those things that like, it might be because I'm an East Coaster. Maybe they aired it over there more. Hold on. Let me see if I'm going to see if I can find a link to it. Because you might have seen it if you, let's see. Hold on. Let me do this quick screen share. Like maybe if I show you, y'all will recognize it. Do you recognize these guys? A Hanna-Barbera, The Halloween Tree.
No.
Wow. Yep, it used to come on Cartoon Network. It came out in 93. So yeah, so I was 11. Yep, I remember. And I fell in love with this.
Maybe that's why, because I'm like, I was 15. So like I was just at that age where maybe I wasn't watching cartoons and things, you know?
Yep. But they have it on YouTube now. But every year, and I will be reviewing it this year, but every year, the Halloween Tree, oh my God.
Oh, that's cute.
But Hocus Pocus, but I would say the Halloween Tree is I think I like that even more than Hocus Pocus.
What about Ernest Scared Stupid?
Oh, I'm so sad Jim Varney passed.
Do you remember that? It probably doesn't stand up at all, like, or hold up, but like in my mind, it was funny as a kid.
Because it was slapstick.
Yep.
I might watch a clip of that. I liked him.
That was so nostalgic. Ernest Scared
Yeah.
Stupid.
I love the, or now that I think about it, I like the Ernest movie.
Ernest Saves Christmas. Know what I mean, Vern? That's just to me, there are certain things I have an affection for because of the nostalgia. That's something you and I both share in common. That's why we have the random movie references we do. So yeah, Ernest Scared Stupid was definitely played in the home.
Now, Return to Oz, would that be Halloween adjacent?
Oh gosh.
Because it is
Oh,
kind of like, I would say this: Return to Oz, Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal. Are
oh god.
these spooky? Yes, yes, we're going for the trifecta.
Well, the Dark Crystal traumatized me as a child. Like what Jim Hen I revere it for it's really like a masterpiece of work for Jim Henson. I'm a huge like fan of his in general, right? But that movie as a little kid was dark as fuck. Like wow. So yes, I mean it's definitely in I think it's adjacent. It's in a different realm than some of the ones we've been bringing up, but it's just scary. Costume appropriate, you know what I mean? Um the Labyrinth, same thing. Um
Oh my
I
God!
love the Labyrinth.
The people under the stairs.
Oh
Oh my
yes.
God, you unlocked a memory. Oh my God, I forgot about that crazy movie. Oh wow. That's definitely Halloween adjacent. The
Hmm.
people under the stairs is definitely Halloween adjacent.
I know what you did last summer.
Halloween adjacent. Halloween
Hmm.
adjacent.
Yes, yes. So to answer your question, yes, I do think the trifecta is Halloween adjacent. I love, you know what, the Labyrinth didn't terrify me as much as the Dark Crystal. The Labyrinth is it's got some little weird rapey undertones. If
Oh.
you look at it. But I
I
just
never saw Labyrinth. I've only like I tried
oh
to watch Labyrinth. I tried to watch The Dark Crystal. I could never get into them. I
yeah.
would put them on. I would make appointments to watch them. I would try. They would be on, and I just couldn't. It just never grabbed me.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. They are definitely they're niche. They're niche. They are niche. I just grew up watching. Did you watch Fraggle Rock?
Yeah, and now I liked Fraggle Rock.
Yes, they remade that actually. But we're digressing off the Cell. I remember the Cell.
Now, I would say The Cell is Halloween adjacent because we're dealing
Hmm.
with the serial killer. And now I swear, J Lo has made. She did two good movies. She did two good movies and made a career out of it. I swear, Daddy Heifer has rested on those two laurels for 40 years.
I liked Out of Sight. I stand by. I thought that was a cute little movie. That was one of that I enjoyed.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
see that one.
it with George Clooney. They have a cute little chemistry. It was that was when George Clooney was making cute little movies. I stand by that one, and I also my mother loves Monster in Law, but I feel like that character could have been anyone. J Lo was just filling in for the role. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
that was
and
Jane Fonda's movie.
it was, and it's amazing. My mom loves Jane Fonda. And enough. The booty kicking stuff, I was
Enough was good. And I'll
yeah.
give her enough. She gave us an updated Sleeping with the Enemy.
Thank you. Thank you. And Sleeping with the Enemy fucked me up. Like when the towels were straight and the cans were straight in the house, I was screaming. So, um, yeah. But that's about it for me, really.
The Lost Boys. I
Oh
would say
yeah.
Halloween adjacent.
Oh,
Also
absolutely.
another,
Vampire.
but also another movie I've never seen.
Oh, oh. That's a classic. So is Freaky Friday. Have you seen that?
Freaky Friday. I've seen Freaky Friday. Well, with Lindsay Lohan and
No, Friday, Fright Night. Was it Fright Night? It's the old fashioned vampire one with the chick from Married with Children. That's an old one. All right, I'm gonna let that go.
Is Fright Night the anthology?
No, it's this one old school vampire movie.
Oh, okay. No, I've never seen Fright Night either.
Okay. Yeah, Lost Boys is definitely adjacent.
Oh, The Fog, definitely adjacent. Did you ever see The Fog? The old one is actually pretty good if you want that good like 80s throwback feel of horror. And I will say 80s horror it's delightful.
Yeah. Oh, what? Yes. And so I mean, like you just reviewed Glenn Close, like Fatal Attraction, I feel like is adjacent. And like that's like, no matter what, there's just something about that movie.
Now, what about Basic Instinct or Single White Female? Are those Halloween adjacent or just, or now have we crossed into thriller?
I feel like you're asking a legitimate question. I feel like we've crossed into thriller.
Okay. Because that's a great, like, what is Halloween adjacent? What, and now we're also like figuring out what the terms of Halloween adjacent are versus what is just thriller. Like Basic Instinct, I would definitely say is definitely more thriller.
Single White Female is borderline. You could get right up to it.
The same thing. I was gonna say the same because it's like because you're so obsessive, you're getting into serial killer versus Basic Instinct, which is much more leg up.
Yeah,
it's much more about the leg being up.
It's all about the fact that you saw Sharon Stone's coochie, whether she wanted you to or not. Well, and also when you said that, I thought, remember when she did that movie Sliver?
Oh, yes.
A terrible movie with William Baldwin. Yeah, right? So it kind of all goes into that weird, this is before 50 Shades of Grey genre.
Yes.
Where it was going to be weirdly sexual.
Exactly. This was high-end softcore. It was soft with a plot. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Wait. Oh, I just remembered this great movie that is a thriller. Oh, God. Oh, I haven't seen it in forever. It's on the tip of my tongue. Kevin Costner is in it. No, is it Kevin Costner? No, it's not Kevin Costner. It's this movie where Rebecca De Mornay is in it, and she stopped doing
The Hand That Rocks the Cradle?
No, but in that era.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay, keep going. Sorry.
Okay, they live in so it's a movie where the husband dies, she has a daughter, they live in this nice building that's kind of under construction, and then it turns out the husband ain't really dead. Oh God, it was such a good movie. And the guy that was in it was the father from what was it? Home Alone. The father from Home Alone is her husband in it.
Oh, yeah. Nope. That sounds... I haven't seen that.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Father from Home Alone. I'm finding the name of this movie.
I know. I get it.
Oh, no. He died.
When did he die?
2017.
Oh, shit. Really? Kevin McAllister's dad's been gone.
Oh, my God.
Because if you showed me a picture of that actor, that's probably the first and only thing I would be able to think of that he was in.
Yeah, it was with Goldie Hawn. Deceived.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Didn't see it. Goldie Hawn, that's not Rebecca De Mornay.
I'm sorry.
I know blonde white women, but like
they both had that they both had that brassy strawberry blonde at that time.
Totally.
But oh god, oh that Deceived, y'all. Watch Deceived. It's a thriller. It's not Halloween, but I would say it's autumnal. I would also say, now, do you feel like thrillers are autumnal?
Oh, that's a good question. Do I feel like thrillers are autumnal? Oh, well, I guess if you want to get cozy, like if you're in an area where it's cooled down and you want to like turn the night, especially if you have someone to like snuggle with and be thrilled yeah, it could be, huh? Could be.
I got somebody to snuggle with right here.
Exactly. Well, like, you know what? I would watch The Fugitive in the autumn.
Oh, another great thriller. I watched this with my grandparents. Frantic.
Yeah. What?
The movie is called Frantic with Harrison Ford.
Huh.
It is so good. If you like a thriller, Frantic.
Okay.
It's 90 something, but I'll give you a little bit of the premise. Harrison and his wife go on vacation to France, and then she disappears.
Oh.
And he Harrison Ford, so he gonna find her. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you marry a man like that where it's like, no, you gonna find my ass.
Oh, you know what? Another movie I'd watch in the fall, The Hunt for the Red October.
Oh, I never could get into that.
Okay, that is such a we've crossed into dry white people thriller movies back from when your parents made us watch it. We have. Let's dip on back maybe more.
Okay. Now, is this Halloween or thriller? Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, damn. That is truly, I would say, its own thing that could go in either one. Do you know what I mean?
I will say, because it's such a
thriller.
I could see it could fall either way. I would say because it's
skin suit and all that.
Yeah, skin suit and holes in that's Halloween. That's Halloween.
Yeah, person in a well. Yeah,
of course. Oh, The Skeleton Key. If y'all haven't seen The Skeleton Key, no, you said you don't like. Can you do scary without gore?
I'm trying to think of somebody made me watch La Llorona and I was like, big whoop, this is not scary. You know what I mean? Yes, I've seen. I'm trying to think of there's The Ring. And then, I'm trying to think of the genres that we know.
The Ring, I would definitely say would be Halloween. And I love The Ring, and I love The Ring 2. I think they were so well done. That Naomi Watts is just always a talent, always a gift, always a joy. I don't just enjoy her work, I enjoy her choices in film. Invisible Man. Yeah. I will say Halloween because that is an old school horror story just from the source material.
Yeah. Remember Tremors?
Oh my God! And Tremors 2 with Reba McEntire.
Yes. Sorry, I'm gonna throw the randoms in there for you folks as they come to me.
God, yes, Tremors. Because monster movie. Oh my God! Even though I will say. And maybe this is just because when I watched it, Tremors for me, now it can be watched during Halloween, but it always was like a summer horror movie for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was always associated with the 4th of July weekend it would be on.
Yes, I think that part of your association is when it was put on, when you saw it on TV.
Jaws can be Halloween, but Jaws is quintessential summer horror.
Oh, hell yeah. And besides, Jaws made me not want to swim in the deep end of a pool for a while. Yeah.
Let's see.
That feeling of
7. That's a good one. Thriller or Halloween?
It's definitely gross. and costume worthy. I mean, like, I guess we should ask ourselves what the criteria are. Like, is it costume worthy, right? Do we associate it with, like, you know, the
Ooh,
sentiments of Halloween, but also like,
costume worthy is very, I think that's great because, like, excuse me, nobody's ever dressed up like the girls from Single White Female. Like, we've never seen that costume.
yeah, that one would be a hard one to be recognizable unless maybe the year that movie came out. You know what I mean? And you got like that really specific short wig or whatever. But now I don't think anybody would really recognize you if you tried to pull that off. Whereas like the Sharon Stone Basic Instinct thing, I do think that some people could still pull that, you know, like, but it's still not, I don't know, like, but I do think costume worthy is a excellent criteria for, is it a Halloween movie or adjacent?
Yeah. Um,
Um,
let's see. Silent Hill. Did you ever see that?
mm-mm.
That might be a little too gory for you, but that was one of my favorites. I would say costume worthy, but also because it's a video game. But I would definitely say Silent Hill is Halloween. The
Mm-hmm.
Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
The Exorcist, I would say, is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we have costumes from that. Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess you know what's funny? Like, yeah, because this is where I start to associate. Like, you're right. It's not necessarily like holiday adjacent, but it's in the season of it, you know? Because I was also thinking of oh my God, Bates Motel. What the heck? Like, you know, the Alfred Hitchcock.
Psycho.
Thank you. Psycho. You know what I mean? Like, and
Ooh,
the
Alfred
bird.
Hitchcock movie. Like, I was gonna say the
My
birds
mhm.
definitely, the birds and Psycho definitely give me Halloween movie marathon. I think I actually did a review of the birds.
Stephen King movies.
Yes, Carrie. Scary stories to tell in the dark. Oh, I saw. Oh, I grew up with those books, and then like I tried to watch the movie, and I was like, oh, I wish they had done this better. But it was for the kids, and I'm glad that it's got a new generation interested in it. So it's like, okay, this isn't really for me.
Tales from the Crypt.
Now that's Halloween comedy. Although some of them were a little scary.
Yes.
And fun fact, Death Becomes Her was a Tales from the Crypt that then ended up turning into a movie.
Really?
Yep. Fun
Well,
fact. And Death Becomes Her is definitely Halloween. And now what people are doing is they're getting iPads and turning their cameras on, just getting two iPads and putting them, over their abdomen so it looks like a hole.
oh, how funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. I love that movie.
Ooh. Let's see. Thinner, I would definitely say, because we've got a witch. Also, another really gross movie, but anybody, if you can do gross, Drag Me to Hell is fucking scary.
Ew.
Drag Me to Hell actually like scared me.
I'm trying to think of other like
Oh, now
specific.
this is a good suggestion. Are You Afraid of the Dark? I would definitely say, because it came on during back to school, it is prime spooky season, and
Hmm.
I will find them on YouTube and let them play in the background at times.
Did you watch The Worst Witch with Tim Curry?
No, I think I was too old for that. Like you
No, I
said.
think you were too young, actually. You might have been a little
Oh,
too young. Feruza Balk, The Worst Witch, that's definitely a kid. Isn't there a Snoopy that's dedicated to Halloween? The Great
who?
Pumpkin.
Yes, The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
There we go.
Yeah, that's definitely a classic.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sliding all around. I'm just trying to like search my memory cards for what, because I
Tales from the Hood. Oh my God. Tales from the Hood definitely is prime black spooky season, along with A Vampire in Brooklyn.
oh,
Um, ooh, and then also Candyman.
that's right.
I forgot I can do the Candyman voice very well.
Candyman. That's right.
And Poltergeist, all three. I love all three Poltergeists. You know, rest in peace, Miss O'Rourke. But oh my God, I love those movies.
Oh, you know what another movie is adjacent to? Fear.
Yeah, I never saw Fear, but yeah, it was always on, but I never watched it.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, and the nostalgia. I'll leave it at that.
Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Oh, yes.
Now, what's fun about that is the Thriller and me, we both came out the same year. And in my first home, we lived down the street and like a block away from Forest Lawn Cemetery. So for me, that video was very frightening because it wasn't like, oh, a cemetery's nowhere near. No, that shit was down the block, down in walking distance, in shimmying distance. They wouldn't even have to complete the full routine. They would have gotten to my house before they did the, before they got to that move. They would have gotten to me with the, that's how fast.
They wouldn't even gotten to the pelvis shake.
Exactly. They would have gotten me with the neck movement. Oh, so no. I was very uncomfortable, and I did not.
Yeah, that's a bona fide. Well, listen, I live right by the beach. You think like we felt like if you were swimming in the waves and you felt something a little too weird hit your leg, you went running out after Jaws, running out. You were like, something's weird. It could, you know, you just, yeah. So I get it.
I've never had anything touch me in the ocean. When I like Fire Island, there's not that kind of wildlife. Like you hear about a shark sighting once or twice, but like I remember like, and I went there often. I remember the one wildlife, like other than like deer, I saw was I was swimming and I was like, oh wow, there's a little jellyfish. And I saw a little jelly, but that was it. But I didn't go too far out. I went out to like where I couldn't touch the bottom, where I couldn't touch the ocean floor. But I mean, I'm pretty tall, so, but I still like kept it, like, I like to be able to stand up, but I can stand up pretty tall, so I was good.
Yeah, well, there's also the element when you're a child and you've seen Jaws, seaweed, a clump of seaweed, which things like that are very possible in Southern California where I am. Like it's basically like kind of the Huntington Beach area for anybody that knows, where they do like surf opens and stuff like that. It's just the beach. But like when you feel a mass of something hit your leg in the ocean, you're like, what was that? And you're out running. But other than that, I would say like interaction. You always did the stingray shuffle because you didn't want to accidentally step on a stingray, and like But yeah, I mean you know how it is. Anyway, it goes back to you lived by a mortuary, so like the power of suggestion on the things that were scary, you know. And when Jaws ate the fisherman captain when he slid down the boat, it scared the shit out of me, and it made me not want to be in the ocean or the deep end of a pool for a while.
The Sixth Sense.
That's a creepy one with dead people. I see dead people.
Oh, yeah, I'll say that is, it's Halloween, and also it is autumnal because it's autumn during the movie. Like, he's
ghosts
back to school during the movie. Yeah, and gruesome Ghost.
Is Ghost an adjacent movie?
Oh, Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good one.
It is.
I think I'm actually gonna lean more towards Thriller, even though there are ghosts.
I know, right?
Because
and demons. Remember the thing?
There was a short demon scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it can be Halloween by ghost definition only, but I feel like the plot line, it was much more symbolism. I still feel like it's more Thriller.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
No costumes from Ghost.
Yeah, no. nobody would know you were Sam Wheat, or even really Whoopi for that matter.
Yeah.
Even though that's like one of my favorite. Molly, you in danger, girl.
You in danger, girl.
Yeah.
Oh, Hell House, definitely Halloween. 13 Ghosts, definitely Halloween, and one of my favorites. Yeah, Ghost was a romantic thriller.
Well put. I'm trying to think. What about cartoons?
Ooh, oh.
I'm kind of blanking. And I suggested it.
Well, I was going to say you have, well, like it's Halloween, so you have your typical Jetsons Halloween special, Flintstones Halloween special, Smurfs Halloween special. And those are, you know, cute. The Snorks Halloween special. We represent the Snorks here too. And I believe there was a Gummy Bears Halloween special, might have been.
Was there? I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
there was Batman. There was a Halloween special for Batman. Yeah, so a lot of the series had good Halloween specials, but I think Scooby's Halloweens were amazing. A pup named Scooby-Doo had some good Halloweens, but Rugrats Halloween specials every year. I loved a Rugrats Halloween. I love Doug's Halloween, but Rugrats Halloween, I will still watch to this day. I will put on a Rugrats Halloween special to this day. And oh my God, I think we've forgotten the granddaddy of all Halloween specials for animation. I think we've got almost 40 years worth of content. The Simpsons Halloween specials. We cannot talk about animated Halloween specials without talking about The Simpsons.
You are correct, sir. Absolutely. Yes.
The Simpsons. Oh my God. The Simpsons Halloween. And they still have new ones. The Simpsons, they definitely have some great animated specials.
They do. Oh, say Marge's Bride of Frankenstein. It's like Marge dressed that way is like as classic as the Bride of Frankenstein itself now.
Yeah, I love it. Hello, how you doing?
Hey, good. We're good. How are you?
I was just waiting for y'all to I didn't want to just interrupt. You know, so I love the conversation about about these movies because for me, Terrifier. So there was this clown that came out, what is it, a year or so ago, and that movie, I mean, it was traumatizing. That movie, it's Terrifier 1, 2, those were pretty crazy. But when I was a kid, Twin Peaks, it was the first thing that ever scared me. It was a show on ABC.
I remember what you're talking about.
Yes. Right? And you remember Bob? He was killing all the people in the town, and when he would look into the camera and just run to the camera like he was coming through the TV, it scared me out of my mind. Of course, Pennywise, even though looking back at it, it looks very campy. That clown scared me out of my mind too. And I was very young. I was like, oh my gosh. So those are very scary. So those are the scary ones. And I like ghost movies too. It was just one that was
Ghostbusters. Sorry.
No, Ghostbusters is good. It was this movie called Changeling, with 1970s movie where this man was healing from somebody dying, and he was visited by the ghost in the movie, and it made him crazy. That was very scary too. So I love scary movies, but some of the ones now, I think one that they doing now, Strange Darling, looks really good, and everybody's giving it rave reviews. And you can't even talk about it unless you've seen it, because then they'll ruin the movie. So I'm definitely going to see that one. It's Strange Darling.
I'm sorry, I had to check on my chicken.
Don't want to char the chicken.
What you having, chicken spaghetti?
No, I was just making some wings to go with my pizza.
Okay, you got yourself a little vat of some blue cheese sauce over there.
No, I have the Chick-fil-A honey mustard.
Oh, okay, all right. That sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, this is a season. This is a season for the these crazy movies.
Alex, would you consider Ghostbusters to be Halloween or adjacent?
Oh God, yes. Ghostbusters is a must. Ghostbusters is an absolute must. I feel like that's definitely something that I will watch from September 1st to the 31st. I always will manage to fit that in.
I'd even do the sequel.
I like the sequel. I like them both.
Mm-hmm.
You see, for me, what's comfort, it's like almost like comfort food to me is because I watched it for years. Halloween Town. That was, I think it was on
with Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah, I love Debbie Reynolds. I love her. I love the lady. My family loved her. So whenever that pops up, and yeah, so Halloween Town. Oh, Hocus Pocus. So those are comfort food. Those are not scary. Those are just
right.
Just something to watch at nighttime.
Now, it's interesting you say that because I'll also say, like, since it's spooky season, we can also talk about movies that we do watch for comfort in the fall, in the cool down, because my movie like that would be, and specifically autumnal, The First Wives Club.
Okay. I love Miss Betty.
I'm nodding my head. I can respect that.
Miller.
The Wiz? I wouldn't think The Wiz would be Halloween-y, even though it has inspired costumes.
Right.
I respect that it was suggested because it crossed my mind as well, but then I said no, whatever. So I'm just saying that movie kind of crossed my mind too, but
well, you see, now The Wiz, I love The Wiz because I love Lena. Again, my family were more old school, so I love Lena Horne and her singing and stuff like that. But if we add The Wiz, there's another movie that traumatized me as a kid. I'm just talking about the trauma. That's where I'm going. I'm going to the trauma. There was one that nobody really knows about. If people go to YouTube and you look up this sort of generic campy version of Alice in Wonderland that came out in 1980 something or 1990, it was a TV movie.
I know what you're talking about.
Listen, thank you. Oh my gosh, this is so great. So at the end of the movie, so you know what traumatized me to psychic? You know what traumatized me? At the end, she gets home. And the movie is over, and now I'm about to leave the room. I remember so clear. I'm leaving the room. The movie's over, and that dragon or whatever that thing was, it was in her house. The house was dark. It was thundering.
Yes.
It scared me out of my mind. I said, "Oh my gosh, why did trick it? Why would they do that to the audience?" But then she got out alive. But it was just this trippy TV movie with this monster that was just out of nowhere. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I couldn't sleep for 2 days after that movie. I was like, "Whoa!" So Alice in Wonderland, 19, whatever it was, that was a traumatizing one for me when I was younger. That it scared me out of my mind. It scared me crazy.
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting as a child, like when you look back, performances in that version.
Right, because you know what I think too? The puppetry, it's nobody think it's now, we don't have that now. But when being an 80s baby, 90s baby, the puppetry, especially like the Labyrinth and I love Never Ending Story and stuff like that, things that had the faces of the puppets look very mean, and they were, there was something about it that it was very nightmare producing, basically.
Yeah. Well, no, like I said, The Dark Crystal traumatized me. The Jim Henson movie. Yeah.
I missed that one. I love Legend. I love Legend. That's one I probably would add to, the sort of.
Oh, that's another good adjacent one.
Yeah,
Legend.
Legend was because
Bravo.
I had a crush on Tom Cruise because he was shirtless the whole movie. He was just running around. He was saving people and everything. And and of course the girl was Mia. I forget her name, but she was beautiful. I was like, oh, so it was such a. But
Tim Curry.
Again, a nightmare producing performance. But again, in that movie, the bad characters, the puppetry looked demented. They looked very scary.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah.
I liked it. Did you guys ever watch Trick or Treat?
I never saw that one. Was that the R-rated one, or was it like a kid one?
Yeah, it was more R-rated horror. It had like it was like almost like a whole like mini movies within the town, and it was like they were all connected by this little boy in this like not a pumpkin head but like a sack mask, and it was really good. It's terrifying. It's like not too gory, but it's definitely has its moments where it's like, oh, you're terrified.
You know what? So I maybe Allison, y'all might get this one. You know, when you said that, because it's not too gory. When I think of a picture that's total camp, and because I loved him from Charm, it's campy and not people like it's controversial. You have to look up Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. That one was totally demented.
I love. Oh yes, that is so campy.
Wait, isn't it the one where they were cats?
They were cast, but then we had
like no, I remember. Yeah. No, I totally just wanted to confirm. I remember that.
That was demented movie because they were afraid of the cats. Yeah. The cats tore them up. You know, every time the cats touched the monster, they kind of bust into fire. Yep. They were breaking bones and cutting and eating people. I was like, oh my God. It was very gory, but it was so campy because acting was it was in space somewhere. The acting was totally not grounded, and I was like, what is going on here? So that one was demented. It was totally demented, but it was campy.
Oh my God. You want to talk about demented and campy. Troll.
Oh,
yes. Or Leprechaun.
What?
Wait, Troll. Yes, I remember Troll. It came up the same genre as Leprechaun, right?
Yes, the same genre as Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that thing? Basket Head? What was that? They were the real deformed ones. Basket Head. Hold on, I gotta look up. Was it Basket Head?
Tell kids.
Troll. That's digging deep into my. Oh man.
I think that was.
What was that demented head character movie?
I don't know. Now you give me suggestions.
It was something head.
In camp, the actual Cats movie that came out like maybe 3-4 years ago. That's terrifying, but it's not like horror. It was unintentional horror. I was like, oh God.
I was gonna say, yeah, that one goes into terrifying for other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another one I enjoyed too was also
Basket Case. Oh my God!
I never heard this one.
Basket Case. These are like B horror movies that used to come on the USA Network during their Halloween month marathon at 3 a.m. Hold on, I would show you, but it's probably too scary for YouTube. But it's also like incredibly ridiculous. Let's see. Maybe I could show this.
USA Network, the one with those commercials that would just blare in the middle of the night if you left it on.
Probably Sci-Fi. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. You'll remember when you see this.
Because the name reminds me of something like.
Ooh, whoa.
Yes.
What? Oh my God.
I remember this.
Seen this.
And they had a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember this. Like, I was like 8 when I watched it. It was like rerun stuff. But...
Yes. Those ridiculous animatronic. That was the same vein as Troll. And what was the other one? Ooh, yeah. Misery. Thriller or Halloween?
That's Thriller.
You can watch it any time of year.
Yes, I like that one. And the book, I just finished reading that book. I read that book many times. The book was better because in the book, she used an axe to chop off his feet. Both his feet.
Okay, I never.
Oh my God! Critters! I forgot about Critters. Yeah. Now for me, Critters was always something I watched in the summer.
Me too. So I watched
summer horror, but it can be Halloween. But I'll say I always would watch that in the summer.
Gremlins.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Gremlins. And
So critters for me always seemed like a double feature with Tremors. Like they had the worms, then you had these sort of balls with
yes,
these spikes on them. So they always show that like on syndication channel,
USA.
yeah, or some other channel. But they always put them together. It was all sunshine, people fighting against these
Remember the
things.
dolls?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
Mm.
was a weird ass trippy movie.
I
I
liked was it Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, because that one was pretty good with Christian
never
Slater.
saw
That,
that one.
that was
No.
Or is
good.
it House of Doll? I don't know, some shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
But since we're talking about like movies with these like B movies, but like with practical effects, I think to me, current modern movies, they're not as scary because they don't have those. I wouldn't say they're not talented, but like there was definitely an artistry in like the 80s and 90s with horror because they would have to get into like a different like it's like they're saying that it's real, like it's part of our world, but it's still not. Like with CGI, I can never be uh believe that these things are actually real. So I wish they went back to that kind of stuff. Like
Are
even
you
though
into? I was gonna say, are you into French horror movies or like subtitle movies?
I'll watch like anything like
Okay,
subtitle, even
because
if I can convey the the emotions that the director wants me to have, even
because
if I.
they, yeah, I was gonna say there's this channel where I found it because I didn't know what was current. There was this channel called Spooky Rice, and it's a big channel, and he talks about disturbing movies. So I was over there just watching all his things, and he talked about these French extreme, very extreme movies, which is sometimes hard for me to watch. But there was this one called Martyrs, where they that was pretty deranged. It was a French movie with practical effects. There was a one called Inside, where a pregnant woman was being stalked by this crazy woman. That was very graphic. So you just have to look up.
ew.
Oh
Mm.
yes, Inside. So that was very very deranged. Terrify is another one that's coming out again and soon. That one is deranged too with practical effects. But that's not French. That's American. So I try to push myself to watch some of this stuff, but for the most part, I tap out with some of them because they get too repetitive. It becomes too the characters become too stupid, but it is very graphic, very hard to get through some of those kind of French and these new movies. And I think the one that was banned was called The Sadness. It's from Taiwan, and that one was totally it was almost satanic. I would say it really was very bad. So
Was like more psychological because I I would say that I like thriller and more psychological than just gore.
me too.
Like I can't really like Pinhead, that one where it was like I think that was the whole point to be gory and to like have those images, and to me that was just it. I like more the monster, like I would say Ghostface is a more uh better franchise for me, or Scream as the
You see, so when you say Scream, for me, I agree with you. I like a thriller more than something supernatural because I
yeah.
like a good man or woman, kicking butt. Some the killer got a couple of people, but they ain't getting the last person. They fighting, they throwing bombs, they doing everything to fight for their lives. I like those movies. There was this one called Sick. I think it was 2023 that came
Hmm.
out on Peacock. And that one was good. 'Cause those girls, they got. I ain't gonna tell the ending, but they really were fighting in that movie. And I like a good, fight. When people are fighting for their lives for like 2 hours. I like
Yeah,
those movies. So
like
Stick was
the
good.
farthest I'll go for supernatural is like Jason Voorhees, and like even that is like on the nose. Like, uh, what's the guy with the talons with the glove?
Oh,
I
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, him. He gets too campy almost, and like I guess that some people like that, but at times when it's campy and supernatural, it kind of takes me out of it almost.
Mhm.
Like I want a killer who is like dead set and like who has a goal, but it's like deranged. But like I don't want him to be having superpowers. especially if he's like the only one. It's like, you know, at least with like Insidious, they were kind of like, yes, it's like a demon and like, you know, witch, like powers like that, but at least they were like having their own, like, I want the protagonist or the victims to have like a fighting ground if we're going supernatural with that, you know, to at least like, oh, we're fighting the monster.
I mean, they did have Lin Shaye. She was able to banish a demon for a quick minute. And Insidious is definitely one of my Halloween favorites.
Oh yeah, it's so like I wish I can watch all the movies, especially the first one, for the first time again, because it like broke my mind a little bit. I was like, what are we doing?
There are other creatures more malevolent with a more insidious agenda.
Yes.
It was the play, it was a distraction, because it wasn't just scary. It was like, oh wow, they're smart demons, they're cunning.
Yeah, I because I think we're coming to not crossroads, but like to a standard in the horror that some of the titles, they were just showing the villains or the monsters to be kind of stupid, and then it makes the victims stupid in themselves for being caught. So it's like, oh, what are we watching? Is this a comedy now? Because actually, speaking of that, do you guys like the scary movies? Like, especially the 1 through 3, the parodies.
When I was growing up, I did. I love Marlon. I think was it Marlon or the I forget which one it was, the skinny one. Which one? I forget which one. What? We'll say it again.
It was like the not twins, but like the brothers from Wayne's Bros.
Yeah, I forgot their names, but I remember Marlon. But I liked it. It was a character in the picture who was in the closet. So I had a question on him. So I liked him very much. So that's why I like those movies, because he was doing a lot. You know, it was a lot going on in that movie. So I enjoy those movies.
Yeah. I just say that because I like, especially now after I have more, you know, watched more of the horror movies, especially during that time the scary movies were made and before. It gives me more appreciation for it because, you know, we all like to love satire because satire is about, you know, poking fun at the truth and stuff like that. So like that's why I brought it up, because I think the scary movies, like especially the early ones, they give more appreciation for the genre in a weird way. Yeah.
You know what I was gonna say, for me, when you said that, I like those movies. But for me, the funniest piece of TV that does what you're talking about, for me, it was a show I used to just, before Stacey Dash went crazy, I used to live for her. And she was in the TV show called Clueless. And I remember it was an episode where UPN had like a killer night where Moesha and all of them had to fight their own Halloween. I love those Halloween episodes. And on Clueless, the characters kept getting killed off. And it was like, wait a minute. It was just so many jokes there. So it's on YouTube. It's very funny. They were basically fighting the killer. It's a funny episode on the Clueless TV show.
Yeah, like I liked when the TV shows, they just switch genres for like one.
Yes. Boy Meets World did it too, which I liked. They did a version.
Yeah, like nowadays it seems like I don't want to be like, you know, a snob of like television, but like sometimes I feel like it's cheaper just to be like stale nowadays, that they don't have like a Disney Channel with just a horror theme or something like that. Like Simpsons, like you were saying, Alex, like people like rag on it for being on the show for on the air for so long, but like they're doing innovative stuff like with the Halloween specials. So I'm like, you can say that they've been on too long, but like we would have barely nothing else for creativity, at least with cartoons.
Also, Living Single had a great Halloween special or two.
Yeah, they did. Mm-hmm.
And The Cosby Show. And A Different World.
Martin had a great one.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they would, that was good. And so did Will Smith. What was his show?
Oh, Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince, yeah. But you know what I think too, to you guys? I think that, you know what? I think maybe in the 1980s and 90s, like Webster, and I remember I used to love this thing called Punky Brewster, you know, but I barely remember it. I think that the networks, they were really pushing those holiday themed shows, because not only they bring in viewers, but it was also bringing a lot of what was that, ad revenue, because you were able to promote those Reese's Pieces, those M&Ms. You was really able to promote the candies very much so in those episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the episodes we even say, "Oh, this is my favorite, cookie," or whatever it was. So, it was all about money. So that's why they kind of did it that way. Because right now it's not really, we have all these hundreds of channels. They're not going to do like a Halloween episode. So really back then, but it was cute. I enjoyed those episodes. I enjoyed a lot of those episodes.
Yeah, cable and TV now, the ads, they're not on those shows anymore. It's on just now. Like before I got on the stream, I was watching a video, 40 seconds of just straight ads on YouTube. And that's just like saying to me, like, oh, like either YouTube is like trying to force me to get the YouTube premium subscription, or they realize, oh yeah, people are watching YouTube like that. People are watching Netflix and all these other streaming. I mean, the I'm trying to make a joke out of it, but the guy who owns X, advertisers are fleeing from that website because they're having all these bigots and all that promoting their hatred, and they don't want that. So they're going to places like YouTube to have those M&M commercials, to have the car commercials, all of these, that, and the third. And it's like, yeah, I don't see us ever having these specials anymore, unless some YouTuber becomes the next Disney Channel or something like that to have that. So yeah, it's sad, really.
It's a different time. It's totally a different time. I mean, I think that it's a love and not love with those situations, because I think that when I was younger, I totally brought into the Christmas, the Halloween, all that kind of stuff. Now we live in this time where, you see how commercial it is, but I do have good memories associated with those episodes, even though the networks, produced those episodes for money. I still had a good time with all those, like you said, Living Single, Married with Children. I mean, anything you could think of. They all had their own little special little holiday episodes, especially the Halloween ones, and I enjoyed them. So, and
yeah, it made it feel like not a family, but like it felt, like you're gaining a culture almost. Like I feel like back then TV was providing Americans a way to not to come together or something like that, but like to have something to, I guess, to have an American like sensibility in that, like with having a Halloween special, like having a Christmas and all this special. Actually, a YouTuber that I really like, if you ever heard of FD Signifier.
Yeah.
I watched him, and he had just a recently one about what's it called? It wasn't even about the main video, but he made a great point. Like he says he likes Amazon, for instance, because but because it gives him access to different products and all that readily, but he's going to miss how he can't bring his children, like how his parents did with him, to like a toy store or something like that, where it gives him a sense of memories and actually like
picking out, like when your parents would take you to KB Toys or Toys R Us and let you pick out a couple of things, and you have the excitement of going around and being a kid in a toy store, and you just looking at everything and all the lights and the bells and the whistles. Yeah, now it's just point click on Amazon and then it shows up.
Exactly. Right. Like I don't have kids yet, but like I'm going to try to actively, when the holidays come, try to force myself to like, hey, let's go to outside and like give you these memories that you're going to remember, because I feel like it's part and parcel to commercialize to keep people not, in a community, quote unquote. And I think the TV ads and like these special, now that we don't have them, that's part of the like symptom of it,
Yeah, I was going to say too, when it comes to Amazon, what I know is over the pandemic, it was funny because it would be 50-50. I would, or maybe it would be like me buying 30% of what I needed on Amazon and everything else I get. But now it's almost like I get 60% of what I need from Amazon, because when I go outside to get, the normal things I just think about, it's not there. Or if it's there, it's like 3 times more expensive. And I go, wait a minute, I don't know about monopoly and all that kind of stuff, but it feels like at first it was almost like a convenience that was so good that a lot of people got used to it. They didn't realize that on the back end, these different stores were losing products. They couldn't hold it on the shelves. So things were, getting too expensive. So now we go, hey, I don't want to go to Amazon. And even though it's brilliant how they can send it to you for free if you have a subscription, which I do. When you go to the store, you can't find it. God bless you, go to your pharmacies and stuff like that. They have to order it. But when they get it to the shelf, it's like 20% or 30% extra in price there than it is on Amazon. You can get it to your house for free. So it is a problem. Like, oh, damn, how can I not, want to save money by just going somewhere that's convenient? But I thought about the same thing, because I was like, I don't know if I want to, I don't want to totally rely on Amazon, because at the end of the day, once they kind of take over all the stores that we have in the real world, then they might make their price go through the roof and we have no other option. It'd be a monopoly. So
it's funny you say that, because Walmart did this exactly in the mid 2000s by closing all these mom and pop shops.
Uh-huh.
Now facing the same thing with Amazon. And also, sorry for the tangent, Alex. Like, it's just a very
fine.
Okay, but they're facing the same thing like with Target, with all these like conglomerates that are supposed to be like a clothing store, a grocery store, and like just knickknacks.
Yeah,
they're facing the same thing with Amazon because of the pandemic. Oh, the pandemic killed so many of their competitors.
Uh-huh.
Like, you would think they spread the virus themselves or some shit.
Right, and then what happened is they those people died off, the businesses died off, excuse me, and then now nobody's come back to fill those spots. I want to go back to when you said about this channel, when you were talking about there not being current, theme episodes and stuff like that, really major on network. I think it is true that I love channels like the one you mentioned, where I watch live streams, but I also watch channels that do thesis. They take an idea and then they do a list. Like, I'm sure somebody's going to have, like I watched T Noir, and I watched one you mentioned, where they'll have an idea about something. And maybe somebody say, oh, what is the top favorite, comedy from the 1990s of Halloween episodes? And they'll go down and they'll sit in a beautiful room and be an hour video. I love those videos. So those are kind of where you can get that fix, where people, you think the same way you do. And now they've made a thesis video, and they sort of do this list with it. So I like those. That's kind of what I'm seeing happen on YouTube. People make lists. Because I think the one you mentioned, he was like, he talked about Angela, who I love on Boy Meets World. And he was like, well, she was underserved, and he was right. So he went into a deep dive about Boy Meets World. So I love when people do this kind of stuff. That's why when I called in tonight, when Alex was talking about Halloween movies, I was like, well, yeah, I want to talk about Jeepers Creepers. I want to talk about this. I want to,
Oh God, yes, Jeepers Creepers.
But when I saw, that one was campy too, because it was this woman. I forget the actress. She's very known, like Loretta Devine. She was the psychic in the movie, and she made me laugh because her performance was so big. It was so big, and the monster didn't kill her, which I'm glad he didn't, because she was the comic relief of the movie. But that was one of my favorites when I was, when I was young. I watched that movie in the theater, and so it was high camp, and then also, how did people say that Jeepers Creepers was part of our community? He was gay because he was after all the young tenderoni cute boys. Come on now, come on. He was after all the boys. He was after the twinks. He smelled he smelled the girls, left them on the bus, and went after all the guys. Like, okay,
oh my God damn.
Child, he said he wants the twinks.
He wanted
the tenderoni, someone young.
I mean, again, Alice, this is all alleged, but if you do a deep dive on the director and the writer, there's some Bryan Singer stuff with the man. So it's
right.
Yeah, so it's not really far fetched that most of his films of that genre was more like this softcore gay kind of fantasy thing. But nobody was really gay. But the monster was going after these boys. That's all he was. He was hungry for them, literally. So I'm like, oh damn, okay.
You guys watched Logo, right? They had some good Halloween specials as well. Yeah. Like that one with Logo.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Yeah, this one specifically, because I was also kind of in the closet when I was in high school, and I was just watching it. It kind of like came out. Anyway, it freaks me out because I say that because it was a homophobic serial killer for this group of what does it call it? Just like twinks and like all that. And he was going after them. He was like in a mask and everything. And I was just so scared because, I was like, oh my God, if I come out, he's going to come after me and all that shit. I was like,
oh my God.
Now, so the killer was masked? The killer had a mask on going after he was going after all the twins?
In leather. And like it started out because their car like broke down. And like he was in a cemetery and like he was like stalking all of them. And it was during Halloween. So they were in like their costumes and everything. And like he was going after them one by one because they like spread out. And
now, I wouldn't see for me, I would have made a joke and say, are we sure there was a Republican out there trying to make sure they take away all the Democratic votes? That probably would have been my thing, especially if it was around Halloween time. But yeah,
it had a campy edge for some reason too. Like I remember like they were trying to like in between the killings, they're like making these jokes and all that. So
it sounded like Ryan Murphy a little bit. Remember Scream? What is it? Scream Queens?
Scream Queens.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. I mean, they were all white, so it was like
okay. Well,
because black gays would not be in a horror movie situation.
Come on now.
We would whoop ass and call the motherfucker dead. One of us is packing. Mm-hmm. It would be a pop, and that would be that.
Mm-hmm.
We walk right back the fuck inside. Please, you messing up our weekend. We paid good money for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You lost your mind.
Yeah, like a slight spoiler, they all died without not one of them fighting too, and I was just like, wow.
They sound like easy targets.
Yeah, very, very. But it was like a one of those productions because Logo, their movies were like very I wouldn't even call them B movies. They were like C.
Yeah, they're definitely D and C's, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You said that was a funny joke. Somebody said in my family when we would watch the home invasion movie, I think I mentioned this movie called Inside earlier, which was deranged, insane, and not for the faint at heart. But when I was watching with a friend of mine who's from Trinidad, he said, well, that was my mother. She would have cussed out that woman. It's true. Like, so somebody comes to your door in the middle of the night, not wanting to reveal their name, not going to do it. Say, I want to come in. You want to come in? Well, you come on in if you want to, but you won't leave. You're leaving the body bag. That's the black version. But in the white version, the people screaming and hollering, scared. No, we ain't scared. You coming over here with the nonsense. You're gonna get your just desserts. So that's so that's kind of what happened in those movies. Those people coming there obsessed and crazy. What did Beyonce say? I'll show you crazy. We don't do that. And that's why we don't go into those horror movies, because we stop it within 20 minutes. It won't be 2 hours of people being chasing and crying and acting stupid. No.
Yeah, I'd rather either A, I'm going to take you out, or B, just kill me straight, because I ain't going to run around for a whole night you chasing me and shit.
What was it? It was in Scream too. When did Tisha Campbell's ex-husband? He saw the killer. He left the movie. He moved out the movie. He was gone. He said, "Oh, that guy got chopped up in my van. I'm out." Boom. He was gone, never to be returned in none of the franchise. He was gone. I said, okay.
It's not like like the actor. He might get a job or something. But I like how the character it's himself said, I ain't dealing with this bullshit. He's probably seen it on the news and shit that it keeps on recurring to.
He was gone, and never not one franchise did he pop up again. Never. I said, oh, okay.
The actor should come back and he'd be just like, oh, you because I forgot the character's name.
This shit again, and then just leave.
No, he just says, no, I'm not him. I just look like him and some shit. Not related at all or anything. Just go with that joke. Or like what Alex says, just leaves again. Just like, oh, you're still on your bullshit? Okay, bye.
Now, you know what? If they would get that actor again, based on what happened with the Tasha K interview, I would die laughing. They gave him a line and said, I saw the murderer. He was being murdered up in there. I'm like, wait a minute now. That's getting a little too close to home for this man to be saying, somebody's getting murdered up in the room somewhere, because that was, Tisha Campbell's ex-husband. That's what the rumor was about him last year sometimes, though.
I mean, I don't care for the Scream franchise to be that serious because they love to bring characters and suddenly they're the villain. Stuff like that. I'm like, what?
But I'm trying to think. Not this year. They're going to film it. So I think I believe they're going to be airing their next movie on the 25th anniversary. I think.
My God, 25 years of Scream.
I think it's
like.
Or maybe is it 30 years? I think it's about 30 years or something. But it's going to be the anniversary when Sydney comes back, and that's when they premiere the movie in December 2025, I think. So I think it's going to be.
It's 25 years. I'm not that old.
Wait. No, I think it's 30. It came out in 1995, right?
Oh,
the first one.
So 2 more years because I was born in 1995. Yeah, I'm 28, but I'll be 29. So.
Yeah. So I think it was 1995 December. And that's in 2025 December is when they're going to do the next movie. It's going to drop the next movie.
Okay, so 30 years.
Damn. Damn. Wow, I am that old.
But I like my scary movies like how I like my men sometimes. It's like I just want to see you for like a few 1 or 2 hours and never see you again. Because I feel like rewatching scary movies just like even if you try to be like, okay, I don't know the killer or the twist or anything, but it's like I can't do that because I know the twist. And it's like, what's the point? Like the thrills are not there anymore. The mystery, how if or if they do survive or not, like. So I think there are one and done kind of movies, which is kind of sad because I feel like the artistry of horror, like with the special effects, the lore behind some of these movies and franchises is really interesting. Like, I don't know. I feel like some movies are best just watched one time.
I could see that with some of them, but I feel like there's a lot of great Halloween movies that I rewatch, from Poltergeist to Sleepy Hollow.
I guess it's just me. Like, I like stuff fresh, with my movies. Like, I don't rewatch a lot of movies. Like, music, I will, play them over and over for the day I die. But movies, nah, just one and done. Or I will rewatch something, like, if it's, like, kind of confusing, and that's kind of the point, so I can understand like the plot and stuff sometimes. But
I watched Shawshank Redemption 100 times and Color Purple with Whoopi Goldberg a lot of times. I watched oh my gosh, I watched a lot of those things a lot. But I think that the better the writing, the more I watch something. If it's really like just basic, then like you, I probably watch. And I see the chat. I think I stand corrected. It was 1996. So 29 years, whatever, long time ago. It was over 25, but they're gonna be coming back on December Not this year, the following year, you know, next year, whatever, sometime. But yeah, if it's well written, I remember the others with I love Nicole Kidman.
Me too. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. So when that came out, I watched the first time, but then I watched. So because she's such a good actress, she made so many different choices in that movie that it took me a few times to go, what's going on here? So I watched that a couple of times.
I saw that twice in the theater.
He said, "Take my money twice. I want to see."
I went. I loved it. My friend was going, and I was like, "I'll watch it again." It was so good. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's movies I will watch in the movies because money is tight. But did you guys consider Gravity? The one with what's that lady's name? She always looks the same. She's white, so it's like special.
Jodie Foster.
No, she's like young-ish, like big in the 2000s.
Oh my gosh, she was in Speed, right? Sandra Bullock.
And Devil's Wear Prada.
Meryl Streep?
No, the actual main character.
Oh, Gravity. Let me look it up.
Oh,
she was like in the she survived and everything, but like
Anne Hathaway.
No.
Well, let me see. Let me.
I don't remember her name, but I know that she's not
Gravity.
Sandra Bullock.
Angelina Jolie, but like less angular, especially in the face.
Yeah, Gravity. So Gravity 2013 was Sandra Bullock and George Clooney.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you consider that like, is it a thriller or is it just like those movies that are so tense that you feel dread?
Suspense.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I like those movies too. Like it's like nothing is terrifying, like nothing scary is really happening, but you're so suspenseful. Like it's just, it kind of has the same feeling that I like with horror movies.
Well, you know what? You might like this. So you should look up. I won't give the ending. You should look up this. Everybody could look it up. This movie called Shallow Grave with Ewan McGregor. It was one of his first movies. I think the director who did 28 Days or that zombie movie, they did this movie. So they are roommates, and they are not very nice people, and they end up renting their home to this stranger who end up dying. So that's not spoiling anything. He dies in the bedroom. And they had to figure out what to do with the body, and that's where the movie starts. And then all this stuff happening, and money, and killing and stuff. It's a very tense movie, but it's not too graphic, but it's a really good movie called Shallow Grave.
Okay, Shallow Grave. Okay, I'll look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone seen Gerald's Game?
I've heard.
That's a really good. That's a really good one. I think that one is based on a Stephen King book. And it's about this lady and her husband. They go into this cabin and they get into some weird, freaky shit in the bed where she like has him in like the handcuffs on the bed. Then the man dies. Well, no, she's in the handcuffs, and then he dies. The husband dies,
and she's stuck.
Yeah, she's stuck for like days. And there's also some like serial killer with a big long face. He's like after her. It's like a whole thing. Like she like loves herself to get out of these hands. It's crazy. It's a perfect one to watch around this time of year for sure.
I would have gotten a Ouija board and get that motherfucker back.
Who has to have Pepsi with their pizza? Because I just had pizza. It was wonderful. And it does not taste right unless I have Pepsi with it.
I'm one of those too. Remember Pepsi Blue? Was that a thing for you?
Pepsi Blue? Oh my God, I love Pepsi Blue. Blue is my color. I loved all things blue. So blue raspberry ices. I would be the kid that would give himself freezy headaches.
Pepsi. Raspberry Pepsi. I remember when it was cherry vanilla Pepsi. Oh, those are good times.
Oh, those were divine.
I haven't had a Pepsi in I don't think I've had Pepsi in 10 years. So usually with my pizza, I have maybe a Martinelli kind of cranberry, something, a sparkling juice or something, you know, or maybe some iced tea or something. But
yeah. I'm a tried and true, like golden cola, any of those corner store, yeah. Champagne cola, one of those.
Okay.
Look up the movie Space Traders. Oh, I have not watched Space Traders, but I've seen parts of it. It's where these aliens land on Earth and they offer a deal to give up all the black people in return for 3 gifts.
Wow. Okay. You ever saw an event? What is it? Event Horizon with Lawrence Fishburne?
I think I've seen parts of that.
Mm-hmm. It's like Hellraiser. It's like Hellraiser on a ship with all this sort of people getting cut up and ripped up with wires and possession. It's kind of like Hellraiser a little bit.
Oh, what about monster movies? Like, for example, Cloverfield.
Man, like that series like pissed me off real bad.
I was not scared. I was just pissed. Like, what are we doing?
Like,
are you talking about the first one or the second one?
Both.
I like the first one, but the rest of them was like, what are y'all doing? Like
the one with John Goodman. Oh my God, that was that when you wanted your time back.
Yes, absolutely. And then that
Paradox one was kind of okay.
The first one felt real. Like that when that shit came out,
was real.
Yeah, that one felt like that shit could have happened in New York for real. Like, just like that.
They're still rebuilding. It did.
Last year I went to visit back up in New York, and I went through Central Park, and I looked far and wide for that one little bridge they died under to find that shit. Like, it's up there. I forgot I forgot what side of the park it's on, but I went up there looking for it last year.
Oh yeah, I've been there. That's also the Home Alone bridge.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is, if I actually like lived in New York, I would be even more pissed about them movies.
For real.
I've seen clips of Gods of America. I don't. Did they ever do a Halloween season?
I don't think so.
Ooh, The Hills Have Eyes. That's definitely Halloween.
Oh, yes.
Man,
The Hills Have Eyes is a little too gory for me.
I did not have watched that. That made me scared of rednecks for like years. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Oh no, that grape scene was a little much for me.
That was too much. They did that was too gory. I don't need like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Also, I got to shout out Renee Zellweger in that movie. She was a woman that could run. She was not going to let that ankle twist for nothing. That bitch hit the ground like Flojo. She was getting out of that house. She went out the window. I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Listen, okay, she had sadly from the first movie in her.
And like flail my arms around like a white woman in a horror movie. Not me. What I sound like?
Oh man, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That first one, that bitch was throwing herself out every window she could. Okay.
I mean, the doors were blocked, so she was finding a. I like that she was finding a way.
I want to live.
She was like, "I am making it to the end of this movie, so help me."
I will trip another bitch on my way out. I love it. Oh, I love it.
You know what movie turned my ass out? Like, my aunt is like 9 years older than me. So when she was younger, like in her teen years, she would like, her and her friends would like sneak into movies or whatever. So I was staying with them. So she would just take me with her. They used to take me with them to see like the wildest scary movies, like when they first came out. Like, she took me with her and her little friends to see that Child's Play movie, that first one.
Oh God!
Listen, let me tell you something.
So that was the era of babysitters and aunties. Oh my God! Like that was the era of them sneaking kids into movies where it was like, okay, this is kind of inappropriate, but it's also so freaking ridiculous. Like, if you're scared of a doll, we got bigger problems.
Like, I'm from Harlem, okay? So I'm like old school Harlem, like back in the day when we had the that one movie theater on Broadway, that real cheap one. They used to sneak into that one all the time. So her and her friends, I swear to God, I thought I was having a heart attack the entire time I sat there watching that Child's Play movie with them. Okay,
how for you, because you might have some toys you'd be thinking they're about to.
I had a My Buddy doll, a black one.
No.
And after that movie, I think after the second Chucky movie, I was like, you know what? I think I'm good with you. I put that bitch right in the garbage.
Yeah, you're right. Now I think that for me, babysitters are to blame because you brought me back just now. You brought me back as the first time I've ever saw Freddy Krueger. The first time I ever saw
probably the fourth one. I bet it was the fourth one.
No, I saw the third one first because that was
okay.
So let me say that. But also the thing that just scared me crazy again when we so that's the funny part. You were with your babysitter, mind your business. They turn on that damn movie. So when she put on Maniac Cop, I could not sleep for 2 days, about 3 days, because that cop he never showed his face and he was never talked. And he was in New York City where we lived at, and or wherever the city was, and he kept on killing people. Just So as a black person and the cop out there looking like Michael Myers or whatever he was, it was very scary, very, very scary. It was scarier than Freddy Krueger for me, Maniac Cop. So. She liked it. The babysitters liked it. These sort of random movies that weren't really mainstream, but they were very violent. And I think it was even this movie called Blue Steel, where
Blue Steel,
where she was being stalked by this crazy man that just was shooting everybody. Oh, excuse me, that was just powing everybody, and that was crazy because he got the people. Jacob Ladder, I saw that too young too.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh my goodness!
He was thinking he was in hell, or when he was seeing Demon Tail. So I saw a lot of stuff. The one I enjoyed was Tales from the Dark Side movie because it was more like a comic book. It was funny. It was good. Oh, the cat.
Yeah, I love that one.
I wanted Debbie Harry to eat that little boy so bad.
I did. It wasn't he one of the Lawrences, like one of the Lawrences?
Yeah, he was.
I think so. Yeah,
I think it was either Joey or the middle one. I think it was Joey. I mean,
I think maybe the one that's dating. Who was she dating? Chili.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The one in the middle. I feel like.
Yeah. But I think I forget who said it, but I love thrillers too. So it was just another one I keep, because you're talking, they keep ringing in my mind. There was another movie, because I love TV movies too, called Intensity. Dean Koontz, I used to read him all the time at school. Dean Koontz and Stephen King, and those are my favorites. So Dean Koontz had a movie called Intensity, and that one was really, really good. I think it's on Daily Motion, and if you haven't seen it, you can look it up, because it's about this woman who had a traumatic upbringing. But then she left her upbringing from her mother, who was terrible, and this man who knows, they didn't talk about in the TV movie, but in the book, I think maybe he did something. But so she goes to this family, who's a beautiful family, and just happens the night she's there on Thanksgiving, this deranged killer comes in and happens to just kill off the whole family. And that's where the movie starts, because then she is so mad that he's done it that she sort of hides in his vehicle, so she can find out where he lives, and they'd be fussing and fighting and dumping, and it really is a very good one. So that's a thriller. So the Intensity is a really good one. I also liked it, the one that Rose McGowan was. So I loved Miss Rose. Was called Phantoms, where there's these sort of black alien oil things come into the world, and I think Ben Affleck was in it too. That one.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. Yeah. Another good thriller was Sally Field, Eye for an Eye.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that was good.
We in the movies to see that one. That was a good one.
Oh, I only saw it like on DVD, so I couldn't see that one.
I like that one. Eye for an Eye. But Sally Field was brilliant. I also like. I mean, it's cliche, but I love Jennifer Jason Leigh, and she was deranged in Single White Female. And I like the end of the season when Bridget Fonda and her, they were boxing in that elevator, and they were just going. They were fighting for their lives. I like, and she got her at the end. So I like a good cat fight in a thriller. If the ladies are really.
Every once in a while, I'll get in. Every once in a while, I like a little camp in my thrillers. So every year I'll make sure that I watch
Hey, bro.
the John Waters movie with Kathleen Turner, Serial Mom.
Oh, that was
good.
Mom.
That's
yeah.
iconic.
I love Little Camp.
Very much.
Another great campy movie. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of it. Wicked Stepmother is a delightful Halloween campy movie. Have you heard? You've heard of it?
Yes. My mother had.
Who's in that one?
It was Betty Davis's last movie.
Oh, okay.
Betty Davis. Okay. I bet that was a mess.
Wow. But you know another campy one, which is really a good one too, because it's camp because the kids is involved. I mean, if you haven't watched it, you got to. It's called The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin.
Yes,
and he was. Yeah, so remember at the end they was fussing and fighting on the mountain, and the mother had to, it was like, wow. So that was
when that little boy, he was crazy as cat shit. Playing that throwing that little body over that bridge or whatever, or that overpass.
No.
Is E.T. Halloween adjacent?
No.
I think E.T. is almost like Christmas adjacent because it's so feel good. It's such a sweet, beautiful movie.
It's like I don't even think of a holiday for E.T. I think of it just like a.
I think mostly like kind of because of the Reese's Pieces, so I think about Halloween in that sense.
Okay, I can.
That was actually one of my first Halloween costumes.
E.T.
I was E.T.
Oh, mine was Gizmo from Gremlins. That was my first Halloween costume.
What about Cujo?
Cujo's a thriller.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a scary ass dog.
I think that for me, I thought that
dog for like so many years because of that movie. Fuck that movie.
Cujo scared me so bad. I thought that boy really was dead.
But the mother that in the movie, she's a legend in that genre because she was also in the Howling, which I was scared of for those werewolves.
The Howling. That was, and she was also in that Rob Zombie Halloween movie. He ripped her ass apart in that movie.
Oh, did you guys ever see the gay icon, quote unquote, the Babadook?
No, but I need to.
Alex, no, I know. You're about to say like it was just put on the LGBT tag for Netflix, but.
So you know what? I have to look that one up, but they should also add because I live for this movie. I think I watched it so many times. At first, I was confused by it, but this is a movie called Jennifer's Body with the beautiful. I forget her name.
Oh, Megan Fox.
Fox. Oh my gosh, she is so funny because it's first it's sort of very dark, obviously, because she's sacrificed and all that. But when she come back, beautiful. Well, she has to eat. Well, the funny part is, I guess it's funny. She has to eat the boys or the guys. She has to eat them so she can stay beautiful. So it is very campy, very dark. But that one I watched that one a lot of times. It's almost like Heathers or like what's that? Mean Girls or something.
Yeah, I feel like Diablo Cody did her big one with that one because that one like took some time because when it came out, it got a lot of bullshit and hate because they were like, what's the girl named Megan Fox? She's just like, TNA, that kind of thing. But
I'm gonna be honest, I do not care for her acting, but like as a person, it's like, why are you gonna hate on her? It's like.
She did a really good job in that movie. In general, the movie it's just now getting its flowers. So like people are respecting it now, but back then people were hating on it really bad.
It was very dark but very funny.
I want to know if y'all remember these two movies. Stay Tuned. And Mom and Dad Save the World.
No. Wait, was Stay Tuned the one with John Ritter? And he was like in hell or something, and it was like I saw that. I saw it on TNT.
Yeah, girl, TNT, TNT and TBS. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Oh my God! And USA. That's why I would be watching my movies.
Ooh, child, we are telling on ourselves, Alex. Okay, okay.
It's the auntie hour.
Look, okay.
Friends.
What else? What other movies would you say are? Oh wait, I gotta put First Wives.
Oh wait, here's one. Does anyone remember this older werewolf movie with fucking Gary Busey, the Silver?
Oh my God, yes.
I'm telling you, when I first saw that movie,
Werewolf in Paris,
huh?
American Werewolf in Paris.
No, in the 80s. Okay, so Stephen King had like this little novelette called like The Cycle of the Moon, and then they took it and it was like literally like a little fucking pamphlet. Okay, not even a real whole book. And they made a whole movie called Silver Bullet with Gary Busey, and the whole time, like, you know who the werewolf is. It's the guy from Lost. But they really make you think that like Gary Busey drunk ass might turn him from like a horse mouth man into like a werewolf. They make you think this shit. Drop the whole movie.
Guys, I laughed so hard because, like, just tidbit, I worked at CVS like 8 years ago, and apparently Gary Busey's cousin worked there as well, and they looked 1-to-1, and she's a woman, but like she has his face, and I was just like,
have you seen his son? His son looks just like him. I bet that really do got strong genes.
Yeah, I saw the family portrait, and oh my God, it is. I don't be mean, but like, it is a strong features on that family. Like, oh my God.
Speaking of that, Alex, have you ever like run into a celebrity in New York, like, you know, like Port Authority or somewhere around there, that kind of thing?
Oh,
I got a story.
Amanda.
I never ran into her. He said celebrity.
Okay, touche.
He said celebrity.
Yeah.
I ran into the guy that played the preacher on The Walking Dead.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, thank you. Like, he was nice. I said, I love you to Debbie Harry and kept it pushing. So like, yeah, once or twice.
I got a small little story about, you know who Sid Haig is?
No, I'll look him up.
Sid Haig is the guy that played Captain Spaulding in the those Rob Zombie movies with the 3 people. They was killers. So his wife was one of them, and like they was all killers and shit.
Oh, okay.
I was at Port Authority and I was like getting ready to get into a cab, but I wasn't paying attention. And I guess Sid Haig was like getting ready to get into the cab too, or something like that. And he pushed me out the way and said, "Oh, bitch," and like and pushed me out the way. I said, "You know what? Did I just get cussed the fuck out by Sid Haig, bitch?"
The slur just right now.
I'll take it. Look. But once you see this man picture, you'll be like, yeah, he would do some shit like that.
Oh, like supremacist team?
He looked crazy. But he's dead now. But
Sid Hags, like H-A-G.
Sid Haig, like S-I.
Oh, okay. Godzilla, Halloween, or adjacent or no?
Adjacent, because that came out in the summertime, and it kind of like,
oh my God,
Godzilla feels like summer to me.
Okay, Devil's Advocate, Halloween adjacent.
Absolutely, Halloween adjacent.
Absolutely. When he turned that devil shit on, oh nah, that was scary.
Okay. Flowers in the Attic.
No. Now that one,
that's a little freaky, deep.
Yeah,
that's scary, just freaky.
Exactly.
Freaky ass movie.
Let's see, Gothica.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's along the same lines of like, you know, The Cell, like the one movie we give Jennifer her flowers for.
The one.
Y'all are mean.
I'll give her a B for that one. So I'm not gonna give her an A.
We would be taking that heifer's money. We let that heifer did a Motown tribute.
I'll give her some weed, some poison oak, and poison ivory.
Ma'am, all wrapped in one blunt.
Sorry.
Okay.
You said weed, poison oak, and poison ivory. You said I ain't got a flower for you.
Exactly. And also too, right in the center will be some calamine lotion and some herbal tea so she can actually sing.
Ooh.
Ma'am.
I'm not taking that back.
I can't
from Halloween to just straight up reads. Wow.
I can't take it back. Someone had to say it.
Well, she was hiding the cell though. I'll give her the cell, but that's about it.
I fell asleep watching The Cell because she was that boring.
What about Selena? What about Selena?
Selena was the only movie I liked because she wasn't playing herself.
Oh, I thought we were talking about another Lopez. No, yeah, Jennifer Can Kick Rocks.
But no, she did a fabulous job in Selena. Why? Because she wasn't playing herself.
Right.
And she was lip syncing too. Gosh, she's been lip syncing her whole entire life.
And it's
well, you know what? They're
successful.
Well, that was why Mariah said she didn't know her, and that's why she said she didn't like real singers. That's what she said.
Mariah is so nice because I would have actually said, no, yes, I know her. Fuck her.
Ooh.
No, that's the night. I want to get that level of nice, but petty at the same time when I reach Mariah Carey's age. Because I'm sorry, I would have said the same thing, except I would have been like, I don't know that no talent heifer.
I think it was implied.
But I just wanted to say this to Alex, and then I'm gonna head out because I got to work in the morning. I know you did not call Glenn Close Freddy Krueger.
Well, you can't. You can see it, can't you?
She got that head.
My mind.
I saw a little bit of it, but I'm gonna keep it real. I was quite attracted to her.
Ma'am.
No.
I'm sorry. She as a bisexual female, she is right up there. Okay, you can sit on the porch, smoke a blunt, talk about people in the neighborhood. I like people like that. That's actually why I go and hang out at the laundromat. Hey, you ain't got nothing to do, go hang out at a laundromat. A lot of shit goes down there.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Especially on Broadway.
Shoot. I had a woman come in one day. She said, "Do you guys take cash only machines?" And we were like, "No." And she got mad and walked out. And then she came back and had a Karen attack. And I said, "Well, ma'am, you can go to the Rusty Dusty one down by my house where the machines don't work."
Or get a pail, some rainwater, and some soap and do it the natural way, I guess.
Honestly, I didn't care. She was like 50. She was probably almost on her deathbed.
50? Damn. Deathbed at 50? Bitch, that's 10 more years away from me.
We're about to see you gone, I guess.
Damn.
Let me go ahead and go before Alex ends up getting demonetized. Because I would hate that. And also, too, congratulations, Alex, with your collab with Dr. Heavenly. I was very, very proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I wish nothing more than success. And personally, I think that you would be better, you and Chris would be better with your own show. I don't think you need to go on anyone else's platform. You and Chris, honestly, when I'm going through it and then I see y'all pop up, it makes my day.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that we get to do that for you.
Yeah, so most definitely, I think you and Chris would be perfect. Y'all have the exact same sense of humor and everything. Not to mention, I love your shade towards Janet Jackson.
And somebody finally had to say it at an audible level.
I mean, Maddie Rance says it well.
Because he was there.
He was there.
I
I mean, your friend comes to visit you. This was his first time in New York. Like, it was our first time hanging out in the 3-dimensional. Like,
and Janet ruined it. With that
Child, did y'all hear about Teresa Giudice?
Whatever. What happened to no forehead?
Well, that's stranger danger scumbag. He went behind her back and took her off a bunch of paperwork and put his name on it.
It's about to go down. I give it a month before the papers are served her.
She gonna stay with him because she can't be without a man.
True.
Like, and also it's going to be an expensive divorce. And her income is real iffy right now because I don't think they're bringing them back.
From what the preview showed, and then mysteriously, because I guess Teresa's the favorite, it didn't make it on air. There is a scene where they broke the fourth wall, because it was in the preview that Louis had spent all her money, and she told the cameras to cut it off.
Oh, this has been a time coming. I still watch.
I could smell the grip off of him, like from the giddy up. Like, you see how red he looks?
Yes. He's just weird. Like, he just gives me like To Catch a Predator vibes.
Yo, and that whole He-Man Women Haters Club shit that he was doing, whatever the fuck, like that's been the first red flag.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, and also too, and maybe I'm reaching, but this is just me. My mom has been, essayed as a child. I don't like the way he's around Gia. I'm sorry, I don't.
There's been a lot of posts about that.
It gives a very visual, like,
inappropriate.
Right.
Yeah, it just makes me visibly uncomfortable. I can't.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's just that stuff, like, that, I mean, I was myself as a child, so I'm not so keen to put that out in the ether without hard evidence, even if he is being a weirdo.
Right.
So I can't personally. That's
right. No, I'm just, speaking my opinion on it. But I mean, I'm just saying, I always feel very uncomfortable when he's around her.
Yeah. Same.
I really do. However, I will say I have never screamed and laughed harder when Jennifer Aiden got what she deserved.
Yes.
When she got
that damn head with that glass, that little cup shit, whatever. Ooh.
Yes.
Danielle did it with no hesitation.
Like she was,
like Danielle was ready. Danielle was like, she said to herself, the next time this bitch does something, I'm gonna pop her dead in her fucking head.
It happened.
And it was justified because she put her finger all up in her collarbone.
Exactly.
And she started it. She pushed her.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is her husband, I don't know how the fuck he got from where he was at to over there that fast. Did anybody else see that?
I saw that, but also too, Danielle, she's not innocent because she's a racist.
Oh yeah. Aren't they all? Like, don't you get that?
Yeah, there's video surfacing of her in blackface.
Oh, that's
really? Wow.
So I mean,
yeah,
she from Staten Island, so I get the vibe.
Yeah.
I can't stand when you said on this today's pop roast, that you said you want Jersey gone when we're having this much ups on the TV. Like, I can't say no to white women getting their just dues. I'm sorry. Like,
man,
I'm excited for Beverly Hills because I am excited to see Kyle ruin her friendship with Dorit and expose Dorit and PK's divorce.
Oh yes, Erica and Sue now with the ruling.
I saw they were showing bits and pieces of the preview. They showed some for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You see Sutton and whatchamacallit, Dorit get into it. Then they show Potomac. That's just a whole hot ass mess.
Wait, okay. So I was at work all day. I happened to see this picture of crazy ass Katie and Monique husband, or is he an ex? What's going on here?
They're dating.
What?
Really? Whoa.
They're
No.
from what's been going on out in the street, Chris is dirty.
No, they are not dating. They just bumped into each other.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay, really?
Because I'm from the DMV, and I haven't heard no mess like that yet. We kind of hear shit around here, especially people that like deal with all that, you know, like love and marriage, DC, all that bullshit.
Right.
Like, we usually hear about stuff. This was a shock to my system if this is real.
Honestly,
the picture.
The shock to my system was before him and Katie, I guess, went on a date. He went out on a date with Cherie.
No, what Cherie?
He just is bumping into these people because they live in the area. They are not dating.
Oh, okay.
That's like saying if you bumped into me and took a picture with me, oh, Alex is dating some woman. No.
True.
Yeah, because Katie is in the process of getting her life back together, working retail right now. So
I think it's funny that they fired Robin.
I think
that
it's
was a long time coming.
That was like a sunrise, sunset. That was just, you know, an act of God saying, you know, it's your time to go.
There's a long ass sunrise and a sunset on her ass because she was there 5 seasons too long.
But I don't know if anyone noticed this, right? Whenever Robin was not around and when it was just Giselle and Karen, Giselle is actually a pleasant human being.
Everyone says this, even people that have met her at like BravoCon and stuff, they all say this. She's a very like relatable, you know, like friendly person to like have a conversation with or whatever. But it's just when she get on that show, she turns on that shit that is just like zero charisma and just nasty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that now that Robin has been 86'd from the show, we'll see a realer version of Giselle. Because I think that Giselle, deep down inside, really wants to be close with Karen.
I think.
You know what, you know, I was listening. You know what I would say, because I love Potomac, and I want to talk about the Beverly Hills. When it comes to Giselle, I feel she's a coward. I feel she's a real coward, and the fact that she don't have a bodyguard there is the reason why she is trying to be nice to people, because she don't want to get jacked up. Now, it's a miracle. It is a total miracle that all these years, and I don't believe in violence. I really don't. It's a miracle nobody didn't try to slap the water out of her legs. Because the simple fact is, you know what? I'm sorry. The simple fact is,
they slapped the water out of her legs.
The water out of her legs. I'm telling you, because the simple fact is, she has been wobbling around, causing too much problems in Potomac for my liking, and she was responsible for a lot of that stuff. So I think that with her bodyguard gone is why she is cowering down. That's why that woman is trying to turn over the loose, because she can't afford. She can't run. I mean, both her legs probably about 50 pounds. Or I don't know. The simple fact is, the woman is a coward, in my opinion. When it comes to Beverly, I'm going to say this real quick about Beverly Hills. This is the funny thing is, I saw that was the most exciting thing I saw this week with Bravo, was because I like Beverly Hills. I feel as a viewer, finally, we may see Kyle say, you know what? I made a big mistake by throwing over Lisa Vanderpump. I lost Lisa Rinna. Erica's on shaky ground. I'm going to battle with Dorit. So why did she take those girls and throw away, her connection with Lisa Vanderpump? I'm not sure it was a real friendship, but it was a connection. She made a bad decision because now, as I said, Lisa Rinna is gone. Dorit is on her way out, I believe. She made a bad decision because that was the Fox 5, whatever they were, and now they all imploded. And the people who are standing together are Sutton and Garcelle. They still standing strong. And we talked about Chucky earlier. Look at I met a couple of people in New York City, and I met Miss Jennifer Tilly, and she was just as kooky because they do different functions. You know, you can go to different functions and stuff. But when they do the Tonight Show, or the different shows here, and you're walking around by Macy's, whatever, you see people. You really will. And she was a sweetheart. I remember I shocked her because I said, I love you in Bella Mafia. Not many people remember this picture. She said, you remember that? I said, yeah, you were wonderful with, it's this Mafia picture with her. But she was great. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I think Kyle made a big mistake. And I hope that, you know what? And then she lost her husband too.
Well, you know what?
They both wanted to be gone from each other. It was like,
well, the sad part about Kyle is the fact that she will always have the maturity of a Zagnut. And I'm saying this because I have never known a 56-year-old woman.
Come on now.
Okay, playing the middle child syndrome.
Because she needs therapy. Those three sisters need therapy from their horrible mother, inflicting all that trauma on them.
I think, you know what, we're talking about Halloween. They may need an exorcism from what they've been going through.
Oh yeah, the ghost is just there.
I'm telling you, absolutely.
Well, with Kyle, like from the beginning, like she just never knew how to play checkers right on that show. You know what I mean? Like, or chess even, really. Like, she just like puts herself in like really stupid situations all the time, and it's like, girl, why are you like even entertaining this? You're Kyle Richards, okay? Like, you're Big Kathy's daughter. You know what I mean? Like, relax.
It's Big Kathy. I was gonna say too. You know what was so annoying about Kyle for the longest time? I wish she would have fell into who she truly is. Most people who do that show, I remember I talked to Joyce through. Joyce was this woman who was there online. I just said, oh, I liked you. You know, she was very friendly. Most people who dealt with her, whether it be Brandy, whatever, they kind of said, we saw her real face, which is a villain. You know, she can be very, very mean. So it was always shocking to me that, girl, how are you crying in one episode and you're assaulting, you're touching people and you're pushing, and Kyle's a villain. She's a very mean, nasty woman, in my opinion. I don't know the woman. So the fact that she tried to play a victim, it is not true. It's not true. She has a very nasty side to her. Because she's an actress, she can play the victim, but it doesn't work for me because I think that she's that. You know what? I think the true face of Cal is that woman who attacked her sister in the back of the limousine in this finale in season 1. Yeah, that I believe is the true.
Did you? I'm sorry to cut you off. Did you say Kyle was an actress?
I did. Well, that's what she said. Her resume. You know?
Look, I did not recognize her in the very first Halloween. I thought that was some bratty kid. That does not count.
Yeah,
she was an extra.
She was in ER.
She was in that 2018 sequel or 2022 sequel to Halloween, like the remake one or whatever. And I'm telling you, like, she was playing it cool for a minute, but when like the scene after where she got attacked or whatever, like, she was putting 20 on 10. Like, it looked real. Like, bitch, what are you doing? Come on now.
I think Cal's most her best acting part was when she had her original nose and she was in ER. It was in it was many seasons ago, but she was on the ER with George Clinton, and it was her original nose, and you couldn't recognize her because I was like, oh, I know the black hair, I know the whining voice. That's Cal from Beverly Hills, but she was unrecognizable because the different face.
To be honest with you, the other sister, the drunk one, she's a better actress than Kyle.
She is. Oh yeah.
She was the breadwinner in the family, and I think that's why it messed her up.
She did some movie, like there were like a whole bunch. It was like in the 80s or something like that. She was so good in it. I think it was John Stamos in there also with her.
I mean, she was in the same league of Rob. She was a good actress when James Spader and Robert De Niro. Like, oh, I know Kim because we used to be at the same parties and she was in the movies with us. Like, she was a part. You said the Brad Pitt. That's correct. Yeah, she was a part of that. Yeah, she's very. Those stars like Robert and all, they still know her. If you say Kim Richards, they go, oh, I know her from the 80s when we were, working and all that other stuff.
But She partied with Slick Rick, so respect.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'll this though. Want to take care of Kim for so many years, so that limousine scene, I feel like, was such a boiling point that I give her some grace. But after that, it was like, no, you're just fully sick sister because you felt like you were put upon on her illness, and your other family was just leaving her to like.
And I also too feel like because first of all, the only support system that Kim had, and it's the truth, was Kathy. And me personally, if I knew that I didn't have a good relationship with the 56-year-old that's suffering from middle child syndrome, I'm not going to want that in my life.
But have you watched the Paris Hilton movie? Like, Kathy seemed like a psychopath, like, in that documentary.
I honestly tried to watch it, and just like the show Quiet on Set, it was so triggering that I had to take a break.
Wow.
It was
evil in my eyes. So knowing that with her daughter, I can see doing the same thing with Kim with her alcoholism, and it's just like I feel bad for Kyle because she has to deal with all the blowback. Really,
it all stems back to Big Kathy. Big Kathy. She had all them girls out there in the street.
I will say though, and I mean, I'll give Kyle credit when credit is due. I did love the show on Paramount that she had.
Oh, with Alicia Silverstone?
It was about her life. It was called American Woman.
Yeah, Alicia, the lady from Clueless, she starred in that one.
Yeah. So I actually really liked that.
Oh, okay.
I did. It was actually really good. It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't campy. She dealt with a lot of important issues, like issues of racism, sexism, and everything.
Wow. Okay, I'll look it up.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good show until it got canceled.
Don't they all?
Yeah. But I just. Oh my God. And don't get me started on Orange County because I can't deal with
Orange County ladies.
Those white ladies, that's a whole different thing. I'm surprised
where the real white ladies
like he is. I can't with Beverly Hills. That Shannon Bedore, her crazy fat ass, like it's a lot. Or not Beverly Hills, Orange County.
Yeah. They are like legit neurotic, like with their
all psychos. Every last one of them ladies, even Heather.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not gonna. The only reason why I like Heather Dubrow is because I do like her husband, and also too, I was a huge fan of his brother's band back in the day. God rest his soul.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I can let that slide then because I indeed was a fan of that fucking band as well.
So yeah, I mean, that's like the only reason why I skate by Heather.
They're like bouginess, but like everyone else, Vicky, I find her to be like disgusting. That whole Brooks, the one that faked cancer.
Yeah.
And she went along with that. And I was like, no, ma'am, you gotta go.
Vicky Gunvalson, I can't with her. Like that face itself is enough to be like, you know what? This series is probably not for me. Not that they will look at this.
That is a face that only a demon could love.
And that's what she was connected to. That man with no teeth, right? He didn't have no teeth in his mouth. She had to buy. But you know what I was going to say too? Oh, the OC, you're right. The current cast, I don't like, but I was late to the party with OC. I think I got to them over the pandemic. And I have to admit, I loved the first couple of seasons because my mother, God bless her, and I miss her every day, she loved Lifetime movies. And she also loved like TV movies and soap operas and stuff. And for me, it gave me like a TV movie. Like I love Gretchen. I thought that the first girl that was with Slade was so cute, and all that stuff at the beginning was very soapy. It was very like, you know, it was soapy, but now it's very contrived because they don't have the most, you know, gorgeous cast. They don't have the most gorgeous homes. So the fact that it was so soapy at the beginning really was. I have gone back to those early seasons and watched those just out of entertainment. Even that scene that, I mean, is terrible. The drunk, wasted or whatever. That was unbelievable. That was very crazy. Where Tamara was trying to get the girl totally drunk and almost molested allegedly and all that by her own son. So it was deranged. It was totally crazy. So you know that was a good show. It was very good. Right now I'm lost. I don't watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, they got divorces and it was a lot going on in the first couple of seasons.
To sidebar real quick, I'm very excited for. I haven't seen any trailers for Beverly Hills, but I'm very, very excited that Bozeman St. John is going to be on there. Like, if no one knows who that is, like this black lady, like is about her business. Okay, like she is like very strong black African representation on this show. I'm very, very excited to see how her story plays out on this season of Beverly Hills, outside of all the bullshit with everybody else. Because she's very striking. Have you ever seen her? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen the trailers yet.
Oh, yeah. Bozeman St. John. She's like an activist, a businesswoman. Like, she is black. Like, she's gorgeous. Like, I'm so glad that it's not just Garcelle on there as well. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've gotten used to Garcelle, but like these fashions, mama, I'm sorry. I'm kind of.
I mean, to be fair, we still couldn't afford them shits, no matter how crazy they look. Let's be honest about that part.
He's a fire that stylist.
Well, on that note, we actually have gone a little over the time I thought we were going to be here, and I am running late. So I will see all of you soon, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.